Chaos, episode 26. Got a great guest here, Josiah Rises, everyone's favorite white, cis, straight Christian male of the Fandom Menace. Hope to have a good time tonight, and I got some tried and true guests as well, Immortal Coil and Red Gaze. Say hi, say what's up, Immortal and Red, and then we'll hand off to Josiah.
What's happening, YouTube? My name is Immortal Coil. I am a fairly small YouTuber, although I find myself in the shadow of giants. Very good pleasure to be amongst you, gentlemen, and let's make this a badass show.
Fuck yeah.
Oh
Love the
yeah.
enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Mortal's
man.
always ready to stream. Mortal's always ready to just have a good time and contribute. That's what I love about him. That's why he's always on my channel. Red Gaze, here to represent the gays agenda. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so invite everyone to come join the gays community, get on board with that gays agenda. And yeah, just come check out comics and nonsense bullshit. And yeah, we're here with Black Angus, a good buddy of mine. And let's have a good one.
I could hear that, like, oh, what can I actually say about Angus? I heard that. I heard that. In
Did
that
you really?
pause. Yeah, I heard that. It's sad. We were literally just talking about 10 minutes ago. But I see how it is. Yeah, Josiah, for anyone doesn't know who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, why everyone should unsub you.
Well, you should probably unsub me because I am, after all, a straight white Christian male, and that's like the worst thing you can be in today's society. So, but no, I am a YouTuber. I make mostly videos about things happening in the movie industry, movie news segments. I do a lot of reactions as well. I have lots of people sending me videos all the time of things they want me to react to, and kind of in a little bit of a transitionary period with my channel right now, kind of switching some things up and moving in some new exciting directions with the channel.
Wow.
So.
I didn't know we had a member of the trans community.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll be as respectful as I can.
What's
Continue.
your pronoun, Josiah?
But yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's been a really busy few months for sure, and I'm still trying to figure some things out with these new directions, but it's going good. I'm not talking about myself transitioning, but about the channel, but yeah, you can as far as my pronouns go, I just want to be known as chicken. Okay, that's all I want to be known as. So.
It's funny you say that because before Facebook got super gay with its like registration, which should have been the warning sign from the beginning, where it's like you have to have a real registered name, show me your ID.
Yeah,
that was weird. I didn't think because it's like we all use Facebook. I wasn't on Twitter, but when you could still change your name at least once, I actually changed it to Gay Gai Bacon Chicken. So if my mom, as religious as she is and stuff, it's funny. If she ever wanted to tag me in a photo or something, she'd have to type in "gay bacon chicken." She'd have to acknowledge the name. That's what's hilarious.
That's amazing.
I miss that.
Fantastic in every way.
Yeah. Have you noticed my new name on Twitter? My new sub name.
It's like the Blessed Genitals or something, right?
No, it's Black Angus Reviews Supreme Court Genitals.
Oh my god! I see it now. Yeah.
Do y'all know what that's about?
It sounds like your junk is practicing law.
No, apparently one of the things on trending Twitter the other day was Ben Shapiro doesn't believe a woman about Kavanaugh, a new accuser, I guess, because she can't describe his genitals.
Well, yeah. Gotta know the description there.
Well, he talked about how, it's all these people have happened in public with all these witnesses. No one can verify any story. She can't discern, anything except just, a standard description. And so him being a lawyer, knowing law, or what have you. He's gone through law school. I don't know if he's ever practiced, but he knows his shit.
He did for a while, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a personality, but he has a degree to back it up. It's not like he's just like some law guy on Alex Jones, or it's like, yeah, man, like I got an associates here, and then I went there, and they just kind of let me go. But the law, man. Yeah. But yeah, that's
Making the
that's the
frogs
backstory.
gaze.
That's the backstory to that name. I just thought it'd be a fun little change. Kind of like, I don't know if you notice EVS. He's like changed his name every day. Like the other day was like Generous Lover. Uh,
He's been generous lover for a while.
yeah, but Josiah, so like, what if you can just disclose to us? What do you mean, like your channel transitioning? Like, in all honesty, not making a trans joke, although we can later. Um, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm gonna be throwing a rainbow in the background on my channel and doing some
Yes.
things like that. So yeah, it's a very scary time for me, making this transition. I'm trying to be as brave as I can, but no, no. But for real, as far as my channel goes and stuff, I don't know how closely you guys follow what I do or anything, but I've been kind of doing some of these videos on my channel, these vlog type of videos where I just kind of do random crazy stuff, and I've been just I'm kind of in a brainstorming area right now where I'm coming up with all sorts of really fun ideas and stuff, kind of making videos that are just basically just going to be doing all sorts of really random out of this world kind of things and stuff. I have like a whole list of ideas already, and they kind of range from everything from challenges to doing just really fun things like building Viking ships. So so it's
Wait,
gonna be
wait,
fun.
like full size or just like
Yeah,
replicas?
like full size Viking ships. Yeah.
Oh wow! Like, do you know someone where you're at that like knows the craft?
I've been doing a lot of studying. There's actually, I mean, this probably isn't too hard to believe, but there's actually like full scale blueprints for it, like online that you can find and stuff. So I've been kind of doing a lot of research as far as that goes and stuff. My brother is actually into carpentry and stuff, so he's gonna be building it with me, which will be fun. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And my first two vlogs that I've done so far have been doing really well. People have been really enjoying them. People keep on telling me that they'd love to see more. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start giving people more of that type of stuff because it seems like people are really digging it. It gives me a chance to kind of flex my editing skills that I've kind of had that I haven't really been using very much recently. Doing the type of videos that I am doing, my movie news types of videos and stuff. So it kind of gives me a chance to kind of use my actual skills a little bit more and stuff too. So yeah, it's really fun. It's a really fun time. So I've
No,
been
it's actually really cool knowing that you're a big high fantasy fan, Tolkien. I assume Vikings. I
oh
haven't kept up with it since like season 3, but
yeah
I my history with Vikings is because it was like a cluster. So I was in this history, like medieval history class. So it's like
hmm
3 phases. You start with the Viking Age, and it's like the 1000s or 1100s, and you get to like, I guess, the low Middle Ages, or I guess it'd be mid ages, what have you.
yeah
Um, and then you get to like going towards like the Renaissance era.
yeah yep
Um, and the first half really intrigued me.
hmm
And for the first third with the Vikings, and we had to read this fiction based on this like a short fiction by this guy who traces lineage back to like the early Vikings,
oh that's
raiding
cool
England. So he writes this like fiction series that's somewhat accurate to the history. Um, we had to watch Vikings first 2 episodes, and we're like reading about the actual history. So it's all like comparative stuff where it's like, what are they getting right? What are they getting wrong? What are you noticing with like this dramatization of historical period?
yeah
And so I got immersed. And then I was also working at Walmart, and this guy was Asatru, which is like Odinism,
mm-hmm
Viking religion.
mm-hmm
And so that was like right around when I was starting to really start investing, looking into like YouTube and stuff with like atheist rhetoric and thought. Um, well, you and me have talked. Clearly I'm an ally, at least in a lot of ways, with like Christian
yeah
ideals. I'm conservative, but
yeah
definitely differ on some core key elements. But
yeah
it's fun for me. I think a lot of people get butt hurt when we should be having these discussions.
no
Uh,
yeah no I don't get about her about it. So.
yeah.
um,
Steven said really quick, Josiah is trans. And we got Frank in the Shawhan Wiener Dog clan. Hell, haven't seen excuse me, haven't seen you in a while, Frank. Although I have like, a time or two, but for a while y'all been missing. Glad to see you back. He also says, Stephen Walt says, Josiah's going to start pillaging small fishing villages. The Senate says, "Hello there, bigots." Hail the Senate. I'm all about bigots assembling. And
Assembling long ships.
As pooped by Anakin Skywalker says, Nerdaholic still has me banned from commenting on his live streams. Thoughts on this? We'll put a pin in that, but I'm writing that Nerdronic ban. And if you could tell me the parameters, like what did you say to get you banned? Was it directly by him, or was it a mod? Now, Red Gaze Immortal. Any comments further with the Viking shipbuilding and whatnot?
I think it's
Well,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's actually a fact that the Vikings visited North America
Yep.
way before Columbus or anybody like that. There were, I think it's in like Newfoundland or something. They
I
found
think
some
I think it's
Viking
actually Minnesota. That's where the
Minnesota.
Vikings. That's where the
Oh
Vikings
yeah,
are.
yeah. All right, that's a little sports joke for all you geeks out there.
Even I caught that one, and I
Fly Eagles, fly, motherfucker!
so, no, I'm a huge fan of the Viking era, or just kind of Norse history in general, because technically there's kind of a difference between Vikings and Norse and stuff. So, I'm kind of a big fan of the whole Norse mythology, Norse history. I'm like 75% Swedish or something like that. So like it's kind of where a lot of my ancestry is from. And yeah, I'm just a huge fan of it. I love reading about all that type of stuff, and it's just been something that I've always been fascinated with. Even in my early years, kind of learning about it in history and stuff. That was kind of the thing that I kept on coming back to, was the Norse history, Norse culture, and their mythology, all of that type of stuff. It really fascinates me. So,
Well, then let me throw this at you. Thoughts on female Thor and Valkyrie becoming king of Asgard?
yeah, no, I have issues with that on many levels. I mean, to be honest, like I kind of don't really consider any of the Marvel Thor to be anything remotely like Norse mythology, because it really isn't, beyond really just kind of the names and stuff. There's a lot of very vast differences between the two. So as far as that goes, it doesn't really bother me, because it's kind of its own thing anyway in a lot of ways. But I definitely have my own thoughts about that entire thing, and it's nothing that I'm excited about. I really could care less about the new Thor movies. They keep on like Taika Waititi's like, oh yeah, like Thor's still going to be the protagonist of this movie, and I'm like,
He sounds
yeah,
scared. Like when I
yeah,
saw your video, it's like, at first he like hit at us like Ryan Johnson. He's like, "Oh God, there's like a lot of hate on YouTube." Fuck.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I
So
think, especially with Phase 4, Marvel needs thumped in the head, like
yeah,
severely.
yeah,
I'm actually going to go after them about Magneto in the next couple days, so stay tuned.
nice,
Ooh, yeah, yeah,
nice,
yeah. Well,
awesome.
I would bring up my stuff, but y'all can check out my video if you want. I don't want to. I don't want to skew. I know Immortal's concerned with that, with checking out my video before he does his. I get that. I don't think anything I mentioned would skew your thoughts, but yeah. After the stream
Mhm.
or whatever, check it out and have the bell rung on Immortal's channel. I'll put that in the description soon.
Appreciate that, buddy.
Slow computer, but yeah, you can go on any of my videos to find Immortal's channel link. Um, it's funny. It's funny with the Thor thing, because there's this comic store in Columbus I go to on the east side, Capital City Comics. Maybe we
Mhm.
can meet up there one day. Anyone here in Columbus?
Yeah,
Um,
I keep forgetting you're from Ohio, so you're really not that far from me.
yeah, no, yeah. I keep forgetting the city you said like you're near, but I'm gonna make a point of it to come up there at some point or meet in the middle or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's this place out there on the east side. Every Thursday they have this like 20 or 25% off all collectibles like statues and all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
And I love the Kotobukiya. I think it's Shinobi. I can't remember Shunju. Some weird Japanese name. they're either just hot kind of anime-ish or whatever manga style figurines 3D, or they might be gender swapped if they're male characters. So they got some hot stuff. They got like Edward Scissorhands, Pinhead, female
Mm.
version. I
Oh,
got the female Thor, because regardless of what you think of female Thor as a character, it's hot, you know.
yeah.
And the Loki one too. One I really want is the Chucky. The Chucky one. I got an off-brand one of Jason. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, it's funny because I'm thinking like this will not really be worth anything, and then it's like, oh, I might be worth selling in the future if there's like this niche market on eBay of like I gotta have female Thor.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see, we'll see.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's weird because I look at it, I'm just like that's hot, and I think nothing else of it, and then it's like, oh god, this is like a real thing now.
Mm-hmm. It's
It's
actually
Natalie
really.
Portman, too.
It's
Do you
actually
think
really.
Natalie
funny,
Portman is gonna end up doing the LGBT thing with Valkyrie?
Oh, you know it.
Man, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. I really don't think that. I don't think necessarily Jane and Thor will be getting back together. In Thor: Love and Thunder. So, it's kind of up in the air. I wonder what kind of direction they'll go with that. I've also seen theories of like somehow like Valkyrie and Captain Marvel might still end up together. So, who knows?
I wouldn't mind Valkyrie if she was actually hot and not a frumpy looking bitch. Like,
Well, did you see how she had like a Hulk like on his back and she's tickling him like a puppy and
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Senate says
Uh,
the Senate says anime girls hot. And we got Giovanna Mullen in the chat. I don't know if she said 100 subs yet, but go check her out. She's a young fan. I think she's like 17. Drunk 3PO keyed us off on her, and I like her passion. I definitely. We had a little conversation in the comments about a Palpatine idea. I don't know. I'm not a big EU expert, Giovanna. I'm just now cracking because they're RK. I'm cracking open Splinter the Mind's Eye. So I'm a slow ass reader, even with comics. I'm kind of slow. So I don't know if I'm dyslexic or what.
Have you read the Thrawn shit, Angus?
Nah, I read Plagueis, and then I read part of like
Plagueis is
Dark Lord of
good.
the Sith. After
The Darth Bane trilogy is excellent, but Thrawn is like pretty much EU at its best, bro.
But yeah, sorry, we were talking about female Thor and whatnot, and ugly Valkyrie. I'm so surprised, Gaze, you're buddies with Vinny even more than me, and he thinks Tessa Thompson's hot.
No, he
And
does not.
He does. I'll find that stream and prove it to you. I'll clip
Listen,
that shit.
I'm streaming with him at 10 o'clock. We're gonna find out.
Confront him. He will direct you to check out. Oh, she's so hot in Westworld, and you get to see her lips.
Listen, I'll direct him to check out Real Women. He draws them for crying out loud.
That's what I'm saying.
This man should know better. What
He
the
draws
hell?
hot women, and then he's like, "Ooh, this girl that killed Men in Black, so hot."
You know what I'm gonna do tonight? I'm gonna challenge him to draw Tessa Thompson and finish it.
Yes.
See if he can get through that.
yeah, one of my best friends has actually has a huge crush on her too, which is still baffles
You
me.
need new friends.
Yeah.
They're a bad influence.
And she conducts herself like an ass in public. Every interview she gives is like that same sort of like woke narrative, like they're taking notes from Brie Larson or something.
Yeah, no, she can give Brie Larson a run for her money sometimes. Like, it's kind of crazy.
And being a bitch, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go around. We'll start Josiah. What would you rather have in your face when you wake up in the morning? Like
know.
you can have the hottest body, all right, but neck up is going to be one of these two things. All right, you either have to pick this perfect goddess body, Tessa Thompson's face, or Brie Larson's feet.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Brie Larson's feet are the worst. Oh my gosh. I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. No, that stuff is like nightmare fuel. So I would have to go with Tessa Thompson for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. I couldn't do that.
Huh. Okay. What about you, Mortal?
I think I'm gonna have to go with secret option C, which is perfect female body, but with Black Angus's face.
Oh God. What does that mean? The fact that you opted with this third secret option of my face, I wonder what's repressed. Like
Well, it's one of those things you're in the private DMs and you see so many like creative gifs, leftover like rejected war campaign material that Angus is so inclined to pepper with in our chat. We're doing them like little seeds, hoping that they infect our brain.
Oh God. And you gays? Which one are you going with?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with the feet. The feet are easy to avoid, and I'm not
Exactly.
one of those people who, I don't really care about feet one way or the other. I'm not really into them. They don't gross me out. They're a little absurd, in the length department for the toes and whatnot. And they're a little monsterish, but I think I could get by without that. I like to roam the head area. So Tessa Thompson, there's no way. There's just no way I couldn't do it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking, well, feet, there's no mouth, and
right.
As long as they're clean, I don't mind if you touch my peep with your feet.
With a perfect female body, you're actually getting 4 feet, so you can do like weird ex-hamster stuff with all 4 feet.
It could be kind of like you could discern it in your head kind of the same way, like apes kind of technically have 4 feet or 4 hands, however you want to look at it, because they use all 4 appendages like feet and or hands. So you can kind of view it like that ingenuity. It's like, wow, I got 4 feet, not just 2. Hot dog, or it's just more. Or it just keeps you streamlined and focused on your business, where it's like, it's like the brown bag special kind of idea. You do your business and leave.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and you can make like this sort of tunnel sandwich that there's the bottom feet, and then there's the 2 hands, and then there's the head feet. Right? I hope there's no kids listening.
No, I was just looking back at the chat. The Senate says, "How's that bitch Picky treating you, Kermit?"
Listen, you always hope there's no kids listening to an Angus stream.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, talking about sexy bods and stuff. Did y'all see that meme someone made of Josiah after the ice cream video?
Oh my gosh!
So if you could pull that up, Josiah, I'll share your screen.
All right, let me see if I can grab it here.
But oh man, someone added that little banner. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah, let me see if I can get the one with the banner here. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. Oh.
All right, so you just have to share a screen, and then I'll click it. There you go. Boom.
Holy shit! Wow.
Oh God, it's killing me. Now, was this this feels like war campaign line? I don't mean that insultingly. I feel that there's potential here. Like there is this is, I don't know, a freshman in what is the schooling that you become war campaign through. So I'm liking this,
This is like freshman war campaign, is what you're saying.
Yeah. We just, it's like you're not at dong level yet. That comes like junior year. You start.
Well, no, clearly this
you
is
get
soft
issued your rainbow dong.
It's so creepy.
The way they put your head on this body, where it's just like, I'm content looking at this ice cream. I love it.
I think it was High Ground Master that came up with this. So. Yeah, High Ground Master. He did a good job for sure. This one, the presence doesn't get in the way of the junk. So there you go. You can have a better look at all that down there if you want to as well. So.
Well, the good thing about this is the junk will never get sunburned because the dad bod, right?
I quickly Yeah, if I ever look like this, then I will probably just jump off of a roof and land on my head and just end everything right there. That'd be the best way to handle that situation, probably.
Let me see. The sentence says, or he says, I'll put the bag over her head and bags on the toes, but I don't want Bree's cheese feet touching my D. The Senate, you're not living, dude. Like, once you experience something, you're like, okay, this will work as lube. Um, then you go from there. Uh,
You talking about the
s-
cheese?
yeah, the feet cheese.
Oh my
Lordy.
gosh. Oh,
You know, it's kind of weird. If you go to like realdoll.com, you could probably make that happen.
The weird thing, though, is he said, this is the detail that made me double back, is he says, I'd put the bag over her head and bags on the toes. He didn't just say feet. So he's cool with the feet. He just wants to hide the toes. So that's weird, Senate. I like your inventiveness though. And then Kermit says, "So dark." We got Tommy in the chat. Hey, what's up, man? He's a new small channel I found. I think through the comments, but I like his passion as well. Oh, we lost
nice.
Immortal, but he's coming back. Here we go. Author Stephen Wall says feet are disgusting. Well, that's just feet phobic, my guy.
Yeah,
And
personal preference, man.
yeah, well, personal preference is all fine and well unless you're a bigot about it.
Yeah, that's why we need more feet representation in our Marvel Cinematic Universe.
God, get Quentin Tarantino the fuck out of here. Uh, we got Butterfingers saying hello. Let's see what else. Trying to keep it the chat. I got Big Will saying, "Hey everyone, hey, what's up, Big Will?" Josiah. So funny thing today, I was watching your. I'm not sure if you've added another one, but one of your recent videos. You watched SpongeBob Endgame.
Yes.
I didn't know about this, all right, but I heard you say like, "Oh, I'm not a SpongeBob guy." I don't, and I'm like, dude, how can you not invest in one of the best pieces of consistent America's cinema and home entertainment for the last like fuck? I think it lasts for like almost 2 decades. That's how
Yeah.
ingrained SpongeBob was,
Yeah.
and I actually mean that. I'm joking, I'm being facetious, but I actually mean that because SpongeBob, it's one of those things, I talk to other people and they don't get it, but like where I'm from, being openly liking SpongeBob, that's like, you're gonna get called gay for that. And it didn't, I just owned it, but yeah, there's a stigma of liking SpongeBob, especially where I'm from. There's a lot of radical Christians, like the Alex Jones type, susceptible, and they'll fall for that stuff. Like I think it's Dobson. He said uh, the tsunami in the Philippines happened in '04 because the gays and SpongeBob.
Whoa, whoa! I was not involved.
But yeah,
Is that you, Rook?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
how drunk
Hey.
are you?
You in the bathroom?
I'm actually not drunk. Now, do I sound all right? La, la, la.
You sound better.
It was like
you sound retarded,
you
but
got
better.
like beer faces like you did at Red Robin, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually doing just fine. I did not drink. See, if I chugged all the beers I drank, then yes, you'd have a point there. But they're all nasty. Dos Equis was the least worst. And then I had some Jim Beam, though, a little bit. So could
Ooh,
be getting
nice.
a little bit
You
buzzed.
know
a little
what,
bit.
Rookie? I was just I didn't have a chance to say it, and then my internet was crapping out on my phone, but I was thinking, because Ricky or Jeremy, Proper Jeremy's like, maybe you're an IPA guy, and I'm like, oh god, if he can't take like normal beer, IPA is like drinking, literally, it's like drinking Dawn dish soap. It's awful.
Well, it's like I want something that tastes good because it's like the whiskeys, vodkas, and stuff. I can't say they taste bad because like they just leave the burn kind of, and it's like, oh, okay, at least the ones I've tried anyway. And so I don't know, I haven't tried any beer that tastes good, and after this, I don't want to try any more beer. It's not going to be on the table anymore.
You didn't even like the Rolling Rock?
No, the Rolling Rock was I probably put that as the worst of the four that I tried.
Wow, because I thought it's probably more mellow compared to. Well, how'd you feel about Irish Death? Because that's like my go-to. I like Boilermakers with whiskey.
So like I thought it was like a smooth dark. It was like a darker beer than the other ones. I thought it would taste a little different. It just tasted like smooth piss.
That's actually a pretty good description of it. You know,
Yeah.
I met up with Rookie a couple weeks ago and very nearly gutted him at the border of Oregon. But he downed that shot like a champ. He had a double like maker's mark, I want to say.
Yeah, I was thinking, Ricky, though, with beer. It's funny we were talking about Brie Larson because I think of beer and you, and it's like maybe it just wasn't made for you. That's how I feel about it. It's like
Beer
go
just wasn't
on.
made for me. Go away and sell. Yeah, is that
Go away, white male. We don't need to know what you
Ricky,
think of Dos Equis.
What is the best beer that you've had so far? Like,
yeah, no. Out of all the beers I've ever tried, the Dos Equis, honestly, like that was the least worst. It had the essence of it, in a sip form, it was fine. Then I chugged a little bit later, and I was like, wow, no, this is still nasty. No,
Was it the brown bottle or the green bottle?
green?
Okay, well, because that stuff is like custom made for lime. You throw a slice of lime in there, dude. You're gonna be.
Wait, some people were
you'll
saying
want
that
it
I
to be
need
your
to.
apple.
Some people were saying I need to like drink some beers with like limes and oranges or something, and I'm like, what?
No,
I have to
that's
go. I have
gay.
to go to the produce
It's
section
not gay.
and then
It's
go
gay.
to
It's
and
gay.
then go to Fred Meyer, and I don't know. There's like no liquor shit. There's
Tomatoes
no,
that get jealous.
No. What you do, like the fruit is an accent, but if the beer isn't good by itself, the fruit isn't going to help it. That's how I see it. It's like if you can't take whiskey straight, and you gotta drown it with Coke or some other thing, then don't fucking drink whiskey or liquor.
well,
Um,
yeah. I kind of agree with that because like I've tried. That's pretty much how I've tried them was without any of the other stuff. I didn't know you're supposed to, or that people do that. And half the time, I'm like, oh well, which drinks are what? Like, I don't even know. I just let people give me their drinks. I'm like, oh, what is this? Okay. Just serve me up. But you order and I'll just get it. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Like I've had an Irish whiskey before, and that was actually okay. It tasted good.
oh yeah,
And that was all right. But then somebody said it, mixed with Sprite or something. I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Then that could have been a different drink from a different day. And then I've had, what was it, a Moscow Mule. That was all right. Not I wouldn't say I like it, but it was very tolerable. Like I was like, okay, I could drink this whole thing. It's not horrible of taste. That's the thing. I'm a taste guy. So if it tastes good and it's alcohol, hell yeah. But but it's also if it kind of burns and doesn't have that much taste. I kind of like that too, like the Fireball and stuff.
We gotta hang out and just be sad drunks. Don Draper style, like Mad Men. Just get some nice suits on, go to the bar, and just fucking hate ourselves and drink our livers to death with some dirty.
You know what we should do is we should all go to a bar across the street from Celebration 2020 and get shitty and just like live stream. And
I'd have to be depressed first, but I gotta say I feel really good after that live stream. I don't know if people say how much they make on streams half the time, but I'll say my first one. I doubt it'll be like this consistently. Of course, it's like, oh yeah, one time big stream, $300.
Rookie, I'll have to send you some of the beers we have around here in Michigan because we have lots of microbreweries around here, and some of them. My wife hates beer too, but there's a couple of them that she even likes a little bit too. So I'll have to send you some of them sometime.
That would be pretty
Chad,
awesome.
if you want to FedEx Rookie a beer, you can PO box.
Yeah, I have a PO box now, thingy, and it's like. It's like so. I'll try a Guinness. Like when I go to to a bar or restaurant at some point, I'll just have somebody videotape me trying it, or something, and I'll let you guys know what I think of that.
Try a black and tan, dude.
Oh, I don't know if you'll like Guinness, dude.
Well, no, some people said because I hate the light beers so much, like the Bud Light Limes and all these.
Trash.
So they're like, why don't you try the Guinness? And because it's a little more fuller beer. I'm like, well, I'll see. If it tastes good, then sure. But it's honestly, I just want a different taste than freaking piss now. It just tastes so similar. Like, oh, this was out of the same watering hole. Like, just the different flavors added in.
Yeah. Before we lose track, I just want to get back.
So sorry for taking over.
No. You've had a good night and stuff. I'm proud of you. But I don't want to lose sight of Josiah. It's his interview, and I was asking about SpongeBob. I was just wondering, like, how has he never explored the wonder of SpongeBob? Because it's like Shrek, where like you're a kid and you're like, ha ha ha, images, wee, and then you get older and you're like, holy fuck, Squidward is so prophetic. SpongeBob's that annoying jackass that's just happy all the time at work. This greedy
Patrick
miser
is
is
a
just.
bully. No.
No, I wouldn't see Patrick as a boy. Switch is just
In the later seasons, he's just a douche on purpose.
I don't know. I just saw him as a tar the whole time, but like your friend, where you're just like, it's okay, it's Patrick.
Well, he becomes more tarded in a less innocent way later on. So.
It's all fun and games till he starts touching people.
I don't know. I just somehow missed the whole SpongeBob thing. I've never actually seen a single episode of SpongeBob.
Do you have Prime?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I think it's on Prime. At least watch the SpongeBob movie, and then watch SpongeBob movie 2, because it's like, I would say it's like Last Jedi or like Game of Thrones or something, where it's like, not that I feel that way, but I feel there's like a huge split of like people either really like it or they really hate the sequel.
interesting.
I'd say the show itself gives more to what the jokes are. The movies kind of do their own kind of thing in a way, the way they do their humor and style, because the show has like hilarious small jokes. They're like, they're like, he's like choking on eraser shavings, and then he's like drinking water to choke it down, and he's underwater, and then there's like
so many water jokes.
They go up in the air. They're about to go to the surface to do their bet with Sandy, the underwater squirrel. And she held her breath underwater for a while, and they're like, "Oh, take a sip of this water, make it last." And they don't show it, pour anything, because it's a joke about it being in the water. They have like a fire under the water. They're like, "Hey, how do we have a fire underwater?" And it just goes out. It's like, or Patrick is like eating these chocolate bars, and he like thinks that SpongeBob took his, and he's like, "How dare you take that from me? Now I'm gonna starve." And it pans down, and he's just a fat ass. Like, I'm gonna starve. Like, this is like one of the best stupid shows ever.
Dude, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy is like the perfect Batman and Robin 60s analogy. It's amazing.
Pretty much. Doesn't Adam West? No, he doesn't. That's Very Odd Parents. I'm thinking of. Never mind.
Yeah, they have SpongeBob on Amazon, so I'll have to watch the first episode and see what I think. I'm usually not really into these types of kind of cartoon things very much. I don't know. It's just not really anything I've ever been really into. But I'll check it out. I'm more really dark, and
it was supposed to be an
I'm
adult
gonna have
show.
I'm gonna have to be the voice of dissent here. I haven't watched SpongeBob because I think it's fucking retarded.
Oh God, no! I almost forgot the best joke. The one where SpongeBob is he secludes himself in his pineapple, and then he makes 3 friends: the Penny, the Chip, and Used Napkin. And the Used Napkin is shaped a little funny, but SpongeBob has a funny shaped nose, so you think, oh, it's for his weird nose, but it's like, if you ever had a crusty napkin or something, you know what happens there. like a very adult joke that would go completely by anyone else. Or he has underwear on his head, and like I said, he has a weird shaped nose. It's long, and he's got underwear on his head over his nose, and it looks like a boner.
Oh man,
it's such small jokes like that get in, and it's like, oh hey, what the heck? They really do good on the kid humor, and then on the adult subtle humor that can go under the radar.
That's funny. That's
all right, guys. I got to split. I got to go get ready to yell at Vinny about this Tessa Thompson thing.
Oh, that's cool. Gays spreading the glaze all over the internet, I guess. Today.
Oh,
from stream to stream, he spreads the glaze like the glaze of butter on the bread of YouTube. I don't know.
There's endless glaze, and it will be spread everywhere. So yeah, thanks for having me, Angus. Josiah, I think this is the first time we've ever met, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man.
And yeah, enjoy your night.
Yep, have a good night.
Keep fighting a good fight, brother.
See, right. I feel like I should get a little more drunk and then watch Josiah's movie.
Yeah, you're gonna need it for sure.
Wait, are you talking about Taker's Crumb?
Yeah.
No, dude, I told Ricky about this when I was trying to do the Creators Fund, and yeah, I gave it, I think, a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. You hooked me. I want to see the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm waiting on that one.
That's definitely a chapter that I want to revisit at some point. I'm not at any place to do that right now. See, my problem was the first time around, kind of get into all of that. I rushed into it too hard. I I jumped in with both feet, and I shouldn't have, and it kind of hit me in the ass a little bit on the when I on the other side of all of that. So I'm kind of structuring myself a little bit now. One day I do want to get back into doing filmmaking again and revisiting the world that I kind of started to build with that, but I'm not really at that point yet. But yeah,
that makes sense. It takes a lot to get into, but I'm glad that you still did your attempt when you did it and completed it, even if it was starting to feel more stressful toward the end.
yeah,
I can imagine the process of being very strenuous, being a small time filmmaker with it. Like I imagine. I mean, my thing to me is big scale, but also feels small scale afterward. I'm like, I could have done this. I could have just made it better. Could have directed this part better here. I didn't make that clear enough to some things. Like so many things I can improve on for the next one. And like for me, I'm more excited than ever to start. Usually, I want to take a break. I want to go right into another one.
Yeah, well, it's a process. I mean, you look at like George Lucas's student film, the THX, right? And it was all right, but it was kind of weird. And then he tried to do it like a big budget version, which was all right, but it was still kind of weird. American Graffiti was good, but it was still kind of weird. But then we got Star Wars, so you just got to keep on fucking batting up, you know?
yeah.
I will be fully supporting a Josiah project.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So
keep
what?
us
So I know
posted,
you
and then
were. I know you're looking at maybe animating a series or a movie or whatever. So
Yeah.
tell us about that as well.
Yeah, I'm. That's just something that I've kind of been kicking around is trying to get some sort of animated project off the ground that is some sort of fantasy type of series and stuff. Kind of the first step, I guess, for that would have to be trying to find people who can actually do like the animation and the art and all of that type of stuff. And that's always kind of a pain to find people to do that. But that would definitely be something that I could see as a possible. I guess there's more of a possibility of that being a near future type of thing than making like a live action fantasy film again. Just because live action fantasy takes a lot more resources and all of that type of stuff. So, that's something that I definitely would love to do. I'm continuing to work on kind of world building this entire series that I'm doing. Kind of in my off time, I'm always thinking about it all the time. I'm continually jotting down notes about what I can do to improve on this universe that I'm kind of building. Hopefully someday I can kind of revisit it. I'm actually going to be working on a book that's going to be kind of in this series whenever I can get started on that. So yeah, it's just kind of at this point just trying to find balance and kind of restructuring my schedule a little bit to make more time for that stuff. So
I feel you there. Can I offer a suggestion with the ideas for going forward with your story?
Yeah.
For the animations. So this guy Moscow X, did you ever see like any of the abridged series on YouTube, like that they take like Dragon Ball Z and they like make little funny cuts, kind of? There's a voice actor, Moscow X. He made his own. He made his own little show in a way called Dragon Ball R&R. And he made his own. It was off of a video idea. He had a what if. What if Raditz turned good? It's one of the first bad guys you see in Dragon Ball Z, and it spun off into this whole video series. But then people wanted to kind of see what other adventures he does, so he hired an artist to draw it for him, manga style. It's pretty similar to comics, pretty much, and had him draw all these panels and character designs and whatnot. And then hired people through like his YouTube platform and stuff to audition and do the voices and whatnot, and had another guy work on making some of the sound effects and music. Composition and everything. Found one animator to make a fully animated intro, but then so it'd be a fully animated intro with all the stuff, and then the panel would play out with still images, but with the voices and stuff. So it still gives a good illusion of something. It's like a more basic stage of animation, kind of.
Sure.
Not moving animation, but still tells your story and shows images and kind of gets it going. If you're trying to, if you want to get something out there to test the audience, maybe see what people's interest would be in your story or something.
Yeah. Well, one idea I would have is you're in the Fandom Menace. You're not far removed from crossing over to Comicsgate, looking at Comicsgaters, whatever, and listing them perhaps as paid help or whatever. I know there's some people that can animated, make some trailers, whatnot.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'll look around. Maybe I could
Yeah, I've
team up with someone.
that's actually something that I've thought about too. Is kind of starting off with maybe doing, I don't know, some sort of like graphic novel or something like that, um, and then kind of building from there. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea, because that's kind of what Angus kind of said I should do that with my idea too. I have a
yeah,
my own idea that I'm working on the
Oh
side. That
fuck
was
yeah! That comic that needs to be a comic, dude.
it was like, I don't know if I pitched this to you, Josiah, or if you heard about it.
I don't think so.
My werewolf idea, called The Beast Unleashed, or The Hefty Hero. I'm not sure what I'd call it really. And it's a picture a guy like Jason Momoa. Like, picture Jason Momoa, buff as he is, as like a werewolf warrior, like over 1,000 years ago, or a couple thousand years ago, and fighting through all these battles. The
Wait a
werewolf
minute,
is
is this your
playing.
Twilight fan fiction, rookie?
No. Cut to the modern. So he's a warrior for all these years, but cut to the modern day, and he's a fat.
His name is Jacob, and he.
No, so cut to the modern day, and he's like a fat dude, just like, playing video games, having fun, eating junk food, enjoying the modern day, because you live through all these thousands of years fighting and whatnot. Why not enjoy the modern day? What the hell? Why not? And then some people start messing up with his life and people that he cares about, and he goes through this adventure, and then at some point aliens get involved. I have a better pitch for it. I showed that in the trilogy on the table and whatnot. But he's like, okay, Angus, like, that's a good idea, but that would take a long time before I can get that into a film type of thing. So try it out in comics, see if people think about it, see if they even like it really, see what you can do, if you can span the story, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's a good idea for process. And since we're not Hollywood filmmakers,
right, exactly.
Test our audience, see what people want, and if you have a lot of support with it too, then and they like the idea, or even if they just like the idea, then I think you'll be able to go far.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, when you're not kind of in the Hollywood bubble, you kind of have to be a lot more resourceful and things like that. That's actually something that I noticed a lot, kind of being, both feet in with the whole independent film community for a couple of years while I was making The Taker's Crown. Was even in that community, in a lot of ways, if you aren't someone who has a lot of high name connections or a lot of money, people will not care about you at all. And that's kind of something that happened with me during The Taker's Crown. Was, I didn't really have very many big name connections, and I didn't have a lot of money, and because of that, nobody really ever cared about what I was doing, despite the fact that I was, working my ass off in a lot of ways, more than a lot of people were. So there's
Yeah,
the observation that both you gentlemen have the bridge to EBS through Mr. Jeremy Griggs. So
yeah,
scratch your chin and think about it.
yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, honestly, watching Taker's Crown, like, there was just little details that, like, I would love to, like, just like a private watch party, and be like, it just give you my insight if you appreciate my film insight as a critic or anything. Just like technical things, are like, oh, why do you feel like that? It's not detracting the story. It's just like there's some inconsistencies, I would say, with like film style. At the time, that might just been like you're rushing. Like, there's all these factors could have been there, along with uh, as mature as you clearly were at a younger age, carrying this whole thing out. I think even more maturity and some of the things you've talked about going through and stuff with like poverty, for lack of a better word. I know you talked about like
Yep.
barely eating for days and
Yeah.
whatnot. Your job and all that. I think a lot of that might, whether that was in the moment or not, or leading up to, or whatever. I think that type of stuff would factor in, and just more films you've seen, and having to have a more critical eye doing YouTube. I think a lot of that would help you. That's actually what I want to see more in the Fandom. So I want to get to that in a minute, but I'm trying to think what else. One thing that really shocked me, I don't know if this was by accident or not, but was the dialogue of like the like time travel warp guy or whatever.
Yeah.
The dialogue of the film was very consistent. Like, it was corny, but it fit like setting him apart. Like, he doesn't belong here, and he's on this quest. He's out of his element, and he looks the part.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was definitely purposeful. Dialogue is like, such a huge detail that you need to always be paying attention to. So yeah, that was something that I want to get.
The only thing I would say maybe the design, or you could have kept the guy in like a cooler mask or something, like the evil guy in the black
Yeah.
suit or whatever.
The Kylo mask.
Something. I think there was something there, and then you
Yeah.
just gave him like a face. It's like you could have got like a, I don't know, some at Dollar Tree, just and churched it up with some makeup or something. I'm just like, I would have done. I would have kept some mystery, or made him like the ugly guy because he's the
Mhm.
black evil character.
Mhm.
Black isn't just like that half of like light and dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, definitely, if I went back, I would totally redo a lot of stuff with it. But yeah.
Yeah, the only really thing that detracted the story for me or anything was just the like glasses character
Uh huh.
ends up like he's made a deal or something with the main bad or whatever,
Yeah.
or like kept him from the book, but he's in it for himself or whatever that was. I didn't like that guy at all.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely plans to take that in more directions with the next one, but obviously that didn't happen. So
Not
yeah.
yet. We'll see. I
Yeah.
could totally see, if not you just refilming the whole thing but telling the same story. I could see like, oh, this is actually a sequel to this movie, but I got a way better budget now.
Yeah. Exactly.
A Josiah reboot.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Do you think you'd be able to get the same actors and people involved with another Taker's Crown or a future project?
Oh man, I don't know. Like that's really hard to tell because a lot of them have kind of either moved on with their lives to do other things, or they like the guy who played the main character. He's kind of moving on to bigger and better stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's I highly doubt I'd be able to get any if any of them to come back to do it, but maybe that's for the best to kind of just start over from a clean slate anyway. So
Here's
Yeah, it's
something
all
you could.
good.
Here's an idea. You could cross over production with War Campaign, and then you can make Gaper's Crown. It could be like an alternate universe spinoff or tangent or
Oh
parallel.
god. Oh no.
Devil's anus in 3D.
oh man.
Yeah, I love doing this shit, dude. Being silly, internet gay, and all that. Speaking of internet gay, I wanted to talk just because we'll get into this, and then I want to get people the chance to have your take about your history with geeks and gamers, because you came on the scene and you were like, literally, I told you this is like a week before, where it's like, hey guys, check out my friend, I like this guy Josiah, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like 500, and then all of a sudden you're on Geeks and Gamers like a week later, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, and because people don't realize you have a history.
Yeah.
We only see what's on YouTube unless it's
Right.
disseminated or we talk later or something.
Yeah, I guess I were like, who's this kid trying to start up real quick? Oh shit.
Well, no, it was just, it was all like bam, bam. So it's like, oh, clearly there's something here we didn't know.
Yeah.
But before that, what do you know about Mad Max?
Not very much. I've seen bits and pieces of his videos, but I've just never really taken time to invest energy into looking into who he is. So
Okay,
Right.
and I think this is kind of funny at the point we're in with Fandom Menace, and we'll talk about that too. Let me make sure I write that down in my notes. Mad Max Fandom Menace, there we go. So I actually knew of this guy. I think he popped in my feed. He popped in my feed. What? Crap. Hey, Rookie, can you take over for a minute? I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's all right. I was about to say, it sounds like there's crickets in the background.
Yeah, I'm outside.
Oh, you
I'm
are.
outside,
Oh, I
but
was like,
yeah. I'll be right back.
When you aren't saying anything, I'm just hearing the cricket. It's boring.
very appropriate.
The rookie
Silence,
crickets.
I guess.
Yeah, but not Josiah. So I don't know what other questions he's asked you earlier today or anything, but yeah. With I earlier I had questions that I think I was going to ask you, but I don't remember right now because I am starting to feel buzzed. So,
Well, and if memory serves correct, Mad Max was on a Utter Chaos stream a couple weeks ago. And if you're not, if the audience isn't familiar with Mad Max, he's a dude who wears a mask and he screams in a microphone, and he made several very colorful videos about Mr. Griggs and EVS. And from what I understand, the post High Council stream from last night, dude got put on blast. So did you hear that, Josiah?
No, I didn't. No.
I think it was on Cecil's channel. I think.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw something like Jeremy was on Cecil's channel, but
yeah,
I didn't.
I think, yeah. Same thing.
So
Well, no, and they're doing normal shit, but around like the 2.5 hour mark, Mad Max comes on, and they got to like sit him in the fucking chair and put the lamp on his face, and you know,
really?
yeah, challenge his point of view.
Okay.
So they brought him
Yeah.
on the stream?
They did, and he
Oh.
actually had balls enough to go and face his accuser, which I was moderating Angus's stream whenever he was initially on it and kind of laying out his point of view, and we left Jeremy a link, but he has shit to do. I know he runs an expensive channel and all that kind of shit, but we were basically like, so what's your fucking problem, man? Like, why are you so up in arms? Trying to give him a platform to articulate his grievances.
Sure. Yeah.
But then he actually he fucking took the challenge. He took it upstairs, and you'll have to listen to it.
Who was doing the High Council last night again? I don't remember.
It was
World
Mecca.
Class.
It was EDS.
It was on World
Oh
Class
yeah.
channel,
Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
But I think the Mad Max came on Cecil's stream afterward.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
So it's on Cecil's channel, on Cecil Says. But yeah, what's funny too is I had him on. I had Star Wars Only as a guest a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and Mad Max came on as well. And we were just talking normal. We were talking Star Wars and the Area 51 charge, that raid, whatever it's supposed to happen soon. I think still is that this month.
I think it's 2 days actually. I think it's September 20th is supposed to be the day for it. So
yeah, like we're just talking about that stuff, and it's like that was the first time I interacted with him. So but then I clicked on one of his videos. He's like, "What is going on?" It's like yelling in the microphone. I'm like, no, I'm good. but he seemed cool talking about other stuff. When not talking about Jeremy, he was very chill.
Yeah,
that was interesting. But
I see it now. It's at like the 2 hour and 23 mark. It looks like so. I'll have to check into that.
That's gonna help, and if anything, give Cecil some support on Cecil's channel.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't really get into the whole comic side of things at all. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Just classic. It really reminded me of when. Back Angus.
Yeah. What were y'all talking about?
Okay. We were talking about the Mad Max stream.
Yeah. Sorry, I heard like 3 people. What?
Go ahead, Immortal.
Oh, well, we were just talking about that Mad Max stream where he came on the post High Council, and he got in the hot seat, and fucking Jeremy handed him his ass, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to backtrack a bit. So I found him somehow from I think the algorithm, like Last Jedi, base channels, whatever, Fandom Menace generally, and he's cool, whatever. And then he started doing like Fandom Menace videos, like when they went Celebration, and it wasn't like I got triggered by or whatever. I watched it. I heard him out. I'm not one that just. Oh, it's the same thing with B Level. I knew B Level way before the High Council stream, and he started doing the Fandom Menace, and it's like, all right, let me hear him out. Yeah. I heard him out, and it's like, okay, you're just triggered, so I unsub you. And same thing with Mad Max, to a different degree. But then somehow I didn't know he was subbed to me this whole time, so I did the Fandom Menace Creators Fund video, pushing that for you and Rookie, and then he like came at me. And I'm like, oh, you're the guy that cries about super chats. And then we ended up having this back and forth.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry. We had this back and forth. And we ended up having a conversation, and you could kind of start seeing the difference in his videos. And he's like, hey, you know what? He actually made me think of some stuff. And so, I appreciate him for that he's not insular, that he'll, at least in certain ways, he'll actually think out and have conversation and stuff.
Right.
And so that's why I value. That's why I brought him on, because the Phantom Menace isn't supposed to be insular. Our whole thing is we hate SJWs that hit at us and then run away and block us or never reply. and he
Yeah.
never does do that. He's here for dialogue, no matter how stuck on a subject he is. And I was telling him like, hey, like I don't see what's this whole campaign with Jeremy. Like, you choose to stay sub to him, so it's your fault ultimately. You're watching stuff you don't like. And
Yeah.
I had that stream with him, and pretty much everything Jeremy said and EVS and all them, I said through the stream, which was funny. There was a lot of people that were reeing at me because they can't handle, an opposition being, presented on a channel that they
Yeah,
love,
that's just
whatever.
stupid. That's
Yeah,
that's just SJW mentality there. So,
yeah. I think there's some SJWs in our ranks. I agree
oh
with
yeah,
them
for sure.
in the sense that you say all these points, whatever, but then you're actually faced with, it's like, oh, you don't agree with our side, then fuck you.
Yeah.
When it's like we're really just united, generally speaking, on hating the Last Jedi and the treatment from Lucasfilm and how it's kind of spread to every other entertainment entity.
Hmm.
Well,
Um,
that's what's funny is some people confuse giving a platform for the opposition as confluence with the
yeah,
opposition.
it gets
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoy it, and people don't get where it's like I appreciate his integrity. It's his integrity to keep doing what he believes in, even though it's clearly flawed or skewed. Um, and I love it, and uh, I'm not opposed to having him on streams again. I like his tenacity. I definitely am in agreement with like his bark and bite mentality and stuff. But I kind of put the mirror to his face. I'm like, I want to see some bite from you, Max. You talk about fandom and caring about it. Well, that you use your 4,000 sub platform to uplift these tiny people that you care about.
Uh,
So I told him this. I told this. It's not like secret me crap on him. When I see that,
yeah.
then we'll sub. Then we'll stream again. Uh,
Well, that's
you
what
know,
was funny to me, Angus, when you were like, "Hey, I'm going to have this guy on. Would you consider blah blah blah?" And I went and I tried to do my homework. Before any guest comes on, I try to do my homework. And he had some actual like content right before his brain got stuck on trying
Jeremy.
to barbecue. Yeah, yeah, and EDS too. He posted EDS a little bit, and I'm just like, okay. One of the things I tried to say in the chat to him was like, okay, you don't like the way Jeremy does shit. Fine. Jeremy says sometimes he doesn't like the way he does shit, right? What
Yep.
would you do if you were Geeks and Gamers? How would you make that channel better? What would you do that Jeremy does good? And what would you change that he does? And he didn't say nothing. And then Jeremy posed the same fucking question to him last night. And he just kind of was like, and I guess,
Yeah.
look, to be fair to the guy, he had like three fucking fingers pointing at him the entire time. He held his ground. He didn't really quite make a point, but he had the balls to go toe to toe with the big dog. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the
it was
thing
simple.
is I love that he's definitely he does his videos at home wherever by himself, and so you can tell by his editing that he'll probably be long winded and then he cuts it down for us. Um, he's getting it all out there. With streaming, like it's not that he's not cut out for streaming. He definitely carried on with me, and I like that. But it's a different beast when you're like you gotta be quick on your feet to respond. You can't gauge people and take your sweet time. So I think there is that learning curve for him. But
Hmm.
overall, he would say something. And when it comes to the Jeremy stuff, it's like don't watch him if you don't like him. Like he's not going to change you. That was the thing I didn't quite iterate in my stream when he said something like, I made this video like over a year ago. And I'm like, wait, you've been sitting on this video for a year? You've been letting this fester for a year. I'm like, dude, you want him to be what you subbed him for, and he's not going to go back that way. Me, honestly, I've gone back very far. Like you could tell from my Saint Germain's video. I went back and found all these little snippets, not just from the recent videos at the time, but back at the first ones available.
Yeah.
Um, and I see the difference, of course. I not really understand, but yeah, you see now knowing the tameness or what have you. And it's kind of funny to see since Jeremy's so animated and stuff, and that's why he subbed him is the personality. But that's what I miss. I want to see some like reviews from him because there's a simple man persona, or whatever he lets on, and he is like a blue collar guy. But you don't say, oh, dude, Chris Nolan's my favorite director for no reason. You don't
Yeah.
say, oh, I like Mother. Which either you're Christian or you're just triggered because it's putting some very obvious atheist ideals in your face.
Yeah.
That's you can't handle, especially like the Eucharist as an
Mhm.
idea, not personified, but just shown very graphically. Another things like that, you don't. It's that's what I want to see. It's like keep doing all this, clickbait, and that's not being like underhand or anything, but it's clickbait stuff. It's hot topic.
Yeah.
Still do that stuff. I just want to see more
Yeah.
with like thought out reviews and stuff to show like, hey, there's a range to me. I'm not just this one track guy that people can typecast me as.
Right.
That's all I think I miss. But yeah, I value Max. Definitely misguided. I've told him that directly with the Jerry stuff, and hopefully it'll be done now, and he'll start contributing to fandom like he's concerned with, and
Sure.
we can actually grow together in some
Yeah.
way. We're at least allies against Lucasfilm. I think it's
Sure.
what people miss.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, though. Sometimes when you actually have conversations with people face to face, that's kind of where you are able to sort out, your differences and stuff, and get to actually working on the same team again. So hopefully that's what happened last night. I haven't watched the stream where he was on with them, but hopefully something like that happened.
Oh my god, that's the other thing. I don't know if they said it, Ricky or Immortal, but it was on Cecil's stream, okay? And Cecil was like pretty hammered. It was hard for him to like read his chats. All right, and he kept getting the dumbest super chats that he would like.
He
butt
made
in
about
with.
like $175,000 in super chat money, from what I remember.
Just with the Max part, there was some stupid chats, and they were asking like, Max, are you an ally or are you a homosexual and all this stuff? And you can just tell like he's not used to like war campaign gay and Cecil
Doesn't get the
ism.
jokes.
Yeah, he doesn't get the vibe, and it's so just like threw him for a loop. But he's just like the straight guy. It's like I'm here for serious shit, and you guys are being silly. You can definitely hear that, and it's funny. And I think Cecil's doing it to like break up the tension a bit. But
Sure.
there were some good
That
moments where
was
I'm
my
like,
impression too.
there's gonna be some hot taker. You're really gonna just like get animated, and then like Cecil's like, hello, with a chat and drunk, and it's just like, Cecil, you undercut all this, but it was fun. But yeah, if you're interested, go. I might download it and upload just that part on my channel because it kind of goes
didn't
with
realize.
my stream I did with them. But
Sure. Yeah, I didn't realize that he was on last night on Cecil's stream. So
yeah, it was so
definitely gonna watch
surprising.
that for sure.
It was so because I saw a tweet by Jerry, and I'm like, oh, whatever. He probably said something or mocked him or whatever on Twitter, and then I said, oh fuck, he's actually on his stream. Like, he actually got to go toe to toe with Jerry. Like, I'm happy for him. But it clearly didn't go any way he would want.
Dude, he got his back hole waxed.
That's what I tried to tell him. I was like, dude, like you can care about fandom. That's your thing. And I definitely don't think Jerry doesn't care about Star Wars or fans. But like you said, I'm here for a business. It's like not everyone's here just to have fun or it's a hobby or they're a purist or anything that you are. That's nice, but that's not everybody.
Yeah.
One moment again.
Okay. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, his whole thing was like, it's about the fandom. You gotta, the fandom. And I saw him in that comment thread back when he commented on the promoter stream that Angus was trying to do for us, and it's like, some people choose to support people. Like that's one of the things too with super chats. You're not like the way he would put it is like using fandom against the audience in a way. It's like you have to give money in order to get your word heard. And it's like, no, some people like to give money because they like to support people.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, that was one of the main things. And I mean, that's one of the main things why I'm glad that I am able to be monetized right now, because then if people want to support, then they can.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but you have the option. I'm going to do a lot of projects in the future. If that's how they want to help, then they can.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And, that's what I do too. I don't ask people to super chat me, but I do let people know, where the money's going and stuff. Like, this is going to be going towards me getting a better computer or whatever and stuff. So, or, helping me pay for my bills, because that is a huge part of it. So,
yeah, and they'll see the results. Yeah. After today, I'm getting Adobe now.
Nice. That's awesome.
Fuck yeah, Rook.
My editor sucks. With all my special effects I try to use, my editor like almost crashes every time I try to put them all together, which is why the Giving Energy scene was hard to make. Doing that, that's why I didn't fit it in the original cut. Those effects directly work with Adobe. So
yeah,
like they're made for Adobe basically.
Yeah, I want to switch to Adobe so badly, but I just am not at that point yet. But That'll.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's expensive.
It is. It really is. Yep.
$40 if you're not a student, $20 if you're a student, and if you get a special offer in the mail, they might go, "Oh, a limited time. If you sign up like right now, you can get it for like $16 a month."
Yeah.
That's still expensive.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Really quick. Bianca Belly Button had some questions.
I think it's bionic belly button, not
Bionic,
Bianca.
yeah.
Shit.
Bionic belly button.
Wait, what did I say?
You said Bianca.
Oh,
Bianca.
okay. That's because there's a
Bianca
Bianca fights the zombies channel that comes on here. That's why I got mixed up. Sorry,
Bionic belly button.
Bionic Belly Button. She said somewhere earlier. I'm loving the crickets in the background. I don't know if that was mocking or not, but yeah, I'm outside for reasons.
Did you get in a fight with your wife again? No, just kidding.
Oh, come on, no. No, it's all good. No, it's just nice and cool out, and it's kind of stuffy in the house, and I don't want to turn on the air and waste electricity.
Too much gas.
That's a bad problem.
Let me see.
Like Red Gaze is going live, and Drunk 3PO's doing a thing with Itchy Baka.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
As I was exiting my stream, I'm like, "Who's live?" Okay, Midnight's Edge is going. Drunk's about to go. Angus is about to go. Fatal J is about to. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
That's cool though. Good night for it. A lot of content for people this week to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of content. So okay, this is something before we get into the Geeks Gamer stuff. As far as your history, Josiah, I did a video right after the D23 footage released, and it was kind of my speculation with spoilers because there was like initial spoiler thing came out that was interesting to me. It's the first time I had interest in Star Wars speculation in almost 2 years since right before Last Jedi, and at the end I talked about Phantom Menace and how I'm and this kind of goes with the Mad Max stuff with like people's reaction to me having them. When we're supposed to be about diversity of thought and hearing people out and arguing points.
Yeah.
I feel like with that we're getting very insular, and also ultimately we all kind of linked up because of Last Jedi. Maybe now with Marvel, but really it's not as unified a front as Star Wars. Because Star Wars is a lot more niche. It's a big franchise by a few people that pay a lot to see it repeatedly, I would say. And
True.
you might raise fans as well, kind of like Amish or something, by spawning more fans and indoctrinating them. But I feel a big difference in Fandom Menace compared to Comicsgate, and why Comicsgate has such a great future, no matter what happens to the comic industry, is that we're not offering, aside from commentary, which is valid, but it only goes so far. We're not offering alternative products, and I wonder what you think of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's. I guess we're YouTubers, and if you're a YouTuber and you can make it work however you want to make it work, then that's your deal. Jeremy has like the whole website as well as the YouTube channel, and he's continually working on the website and all of that stuff. Which I'm not really involved too much on the website side of things with Geeks and Gamers, but yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of have a I guess you would call it, I don't know, libertarian mindset on that, where however you can make it work for yourself with getting by in the Phantom Menace and doing your thing, then go for it. I don't really care however people do whatever they want to do and stuff. If somebody wants to make their own side products or whatever to go with their YouTube channel or whatever, then go for it. I don't know. I guess I don't really have much of a opinion on that, really. So
No, it's fine. I like to get people's thoughts on this topic because I definitely feel, and this will also be something you can respond to, as well as a Mortal and Rookie. I feel that episode 9 is going to be a breaking point for a lot of channels.
Sure.
So I'll put it this way, and I plan to maybe do a concise video with this same thought. So,
Mhm.
If and this is because like there's a general consensus I would say, up and down with like just at least selling or being known as hate anything new Star Wars, and it's sensible. There's definitely a lot to hate, but I'll give an example like. The Mandalorian, they've said like, oh, we're going to start addressing First Order origins with this show, and people were bitching about it. It's like, wasn't something we wanted in the Phantom Menace was like one of our points was there's no history with the First Order. They just poof. There's a replica of the Empire that needs to be explained.
Yeah.
And then they said, hey, we're going to explain that in the show. And then everyone's like, oh, God, they're going to explain single trilogy stuff in the show. It's like, like, what do you want, you know? And now you're just bitching. So
Sure.
stuff like that. So I feel that if a channel points out, oh, this movie sucks, if it does, then it's like confirms what everyone thinks. If they say it sucks and generally everyone likes it, regardless of their Phantom Menace or not, then they're entrenched in their man babies, just like Ryan said. Uh, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. Yeah, like there's no win. There's a couple other
Sure.
options, but
Yeah.
it's like if you hate it and it sucked, you confirmed it. Everyone's kind of done with Star Wars. If you hate it and it's good, then you're entrenched. If you like it, you're a shill, or if you like it, um, then everything you talked about before was null and void now. And it's just like that's kind of what has linked everyone. You know, Phantom Menace is a play on Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I just think the whole core of it, unless we kind of, I guess, agree on something aside from just we hate the Last Jedi, and maybe that's all it is. Maybe it needs to kind of go now. We've had our chance
Hmm.
to let the Lucasfilm industry and stuff, the industry with other films know how we feel, and it's
Been
up to
2
them
years.
to serve us or for us to leave. And I think ultimately, if that's the case, if we don't want to offer other products, the only other option is to boycott actually not fun stuff.
Right. Yeah. Which I don't know how I feel about that really. But I guess there's a few points I want to make about that. The I'm definitely someone who leans more on the side of there's a lot of people that do kind of jump straight away to hating on things or being angry about things. But I guess I like to actually see the product before I start judging on it too critically. I'll offer my thoughts about things before I see it and stuff. But I guess I'm still always willing to give something a chance by actually watching it first before completely throwing it under the bus. Um, so as far as that goes, like I'm gonna definitely be watching Mandalorian to see to kind of form my own opinion about it and stuff. The I guess that is kind of a different situation than Rise of Skywalker for me, because Rise of Skywalker to me, I don't see how Rise of Skywalker can redeem what happened with The Last Jedi. I just don't see it happening. So for me, like Rise of Skywalker, I don't really have much hope for that movie. But moving forward, if things actually start to be like good stories and good products, then I would totally say that. I would totally be honest about that. I'd be like, yeah, they're actually making good stories and stuff. But I don't see very much evidence of that actually happening yet. But I'm gonna be open minded about that for sure. Um, but I guess for me, Phantom Menace might mean a little bit different for me than it does for some other people too. Like I I wasn't really necessarily part of the Phantom Menace when Last Jedi came out, and for me, I'm not really like a big Star Wars person in the first place, to be completely honest. Like I'm more of a Marvel guy, so like Phantom Menace is more of like I guess just like a community of people who are willing to get along and be a community, despite the fact that we all have different opinions. And I just think that that's a good counter example to the whole SJW type of crowd and stuff. And that's kind of what Phantom Menace means to me. It doesn't even really have much to do with the Last Jedi, being completely honest. But yeah. So I guess those are just kind of some of my thoughts about the whole. the whole thing. So
I totally agree, Josiah. Before I was a YouTuber, I was listening to YouTube, and because I'm such a giant dork, I was listening to shit about Star Wars.
yeah,
So I was listening to a bunch of channels like Star Wars Theory. I love his shit. Star Wars Bessie, which became Star Wars Comics. I love his shit, and it was the kind of stuff that kind of like put the seed of inspiration in your brain. It's like, oh, this could be so great if they would just blah 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 blah. And then we got shit on by Ryan Johnson. Okay. And he basically took a sledgehammer to everything that was established. And I think that that's on purpose, because if you follow the rhetoric, the big rumor is that GL gets a point for like every time you say Darth Maul or Darth Vader or use Luke Skywalker or here's the Millennium Falcon. And they're just like, okay, so we're going to have to like brush the shit aside somehow and introduce our own things so that we can make money off of this property. Except that's not quite how it went, you know. So we saw the disrespect and we retaliated. Now, this is what's funny. So the core channels of the Phantom Menace, if we can just boil them down to the High Council and the accessories, they have between them probably 500,000 subs, right? But that was enough that pissed off Disney, and they are actually reacting, and not like directly. It's not like, you know, Bob Iger's coming out and being like, yeah, the Phantom Menace, fucking Ethan Van Sciver,
little bastards, goddamn.
no. But what they're doing is they're using their little Weedly fucking websites, right? Fucking Collider, shit like that, B. Alan Orange, you know, to talk shit about, like, you know, we're just like dudes on the internet bullshitting, right? We're not like a serious threat. We're not gonna like show up and stare at you outside your work office window. No, we're Star Wars fans, right?
Yeah.
So we get to this point where okay, there's nothing really going on. We're just kind of twiddling our thumbs. You know, it's incredible. Just and this is the spirit of independence and revolution, right? This is like a practice in civil disobedience. We don't like the fucking thing that you're giving us, so guess what? We're not going to pay you. And now what? The big news was that Disney's in investigation by the SEC because they reported like $6 billion profits over what they actually made.
Yeah.
You know, it's insane. And this is just like what we're a vocal minority, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Which kind of brings it back to, you know, there's the whole thing with Captain Marvel, even with, you know, people were surprised that movie made $1 billion because people kept on reporting on, you know, half empty theaters or whatever and stuff. And now they kind of raises the question if those numbers were even accurate too, you know?
Well, and how they could have made even more. They could have made more
ahead,
money if they didn't market it so poorly and
well, yeah.
you know, make so many comments about other people. Like, for all we know, like, they could have had people like us hyped for it, and if they did, those numbers could be, you know, much higher. Like, you know, 500,000 more viewers for you.
Yeah, dude,
I
was so hyped about Captain Marvel before the trailer dropped.
I remember back with the Smilegate when they're like, look at the smirk, and then these trolls are, you know, they don't like this. It's smirking or weird, and I don't know. That was before the trailer.
Yeah,
I remember that. There's already controversy starting back then. These sexist incels don't even know. I was like, oh god, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then there's even a deeper level to this, right? There's like this whole social engineering where they're trying to farm our minds and rearrange our reptilian brain so that we start to think that the weird shit that these people espouse should be normal or is in fact normal.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, I was alive before you thought that was normal. You guys are like fucking like 19. You didn't even have a vertebrae when I was watching Star Wars. You know? So they try to tell us this is what Star Wars should be. You know, everything. And was that your video, Angus, where Rey is supposed to correct everything that the fucking patriarchy couldn't do right? A prophecy misread could have been. Oh,
The chirp,
Angus is
the chirpits
I don't hear the
are.
crickets. Angus
I was
must
about
be
to say,
taking
yeah,
a
he's
shit.
probably. But yeah, I think
All
I think
right.
it was Angus. It sounds like an Angus style video.
Angus is taking a giant The Last Jedi.
No, I had to get another beer.
You
Oh.
had to. Okay, no.
Yeah.
I was compelled.
Well, you could have just pointed upward and been fine. Implying it tastes like piss. That was the joke. There you go.
Nah, dude, I drink Honey Brown. It's cheap, but quite tasty and quite worth every penny, if not more. They can probably sell us for 3 times the price they sell it for.
Ugh. I don't know.
That's how good it is.
Well, but just to wrap this up in a tidy bow, that's why I'm glad that people like Ichibaka and author Steven have documented all these proceedings.
Yes.
Because what they're really doing is that they're pointing the finger at the social engineering elements. And I think the SJWs are just like kind of like the street squawkers. They're like the chickens running around going. Bark, 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 bark. Whereas the other corporate entities and avenues and entertainment spokes of the wheel are also grinding. You know, that's what Daenerys was talking about tearing down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Josiah, I forgot. You did a black. Well, no, I remember we're avoiding the black Magneto because Immortal's working on a video. That's never mind.
Oh yeah.
Being
It's
courteous.
okay. Actually, most of my shit's already recorded, so there's no take backs.
Oh,
You guys
okay,
just go
okay.
ahead and launch it.
Okay. All right. So I want to get your take on it. Because I only have so much time to watch videos
Yeah.
in the car, so I haven't seen that one. Although I'm pretty sure you did one.
Yep.
But I did one today. My idea was I gave 3 ideas of how to adapt Magneto to be Jewish in a more modern kind of cause that would inspire his outlook on life attached with his powers as a mutant. All right, so one I gave was the 6 Days War in Israel. It's when the country is about 20 years old. They did a preemptive strike against Egypt, Syria, and I think Iraq as well. They're getting surrounded on 3 fronts. And they wiped out the Egyptian Air Force. I think they fucked up the Syrians too. Syrians were able to bomb them though, or shell them with artillery. And so my idea was you could have Magneto's family get shelled, and you could still have them being like European, so you can cast a white guy much easier than find like an Arabic guy with the clout or acting chops or whatever. Um, and that could be his inspiration and still keep him Jewish. Or you could update him all the way to like 89 or sooner with Al Qaeda. That's when they started suicide bombing Israel. And those definitely would devastate a family.
Mm-hmm.
Or to tie it in perfectly with the War on Terror and the beginning of the MCU, because I looked into the plot, because they kind of gloss over. It's like Middle East, but you're like, this could be a different country. You can have the Ten Rings, which is the terrorist group in Iron Man 1 in Afghanistan. You could
Yeah.
have it where, just like
Mm-hmm.
Mandarin and Mysterio, where they have vendettas against Stark, it could be like, oh, Tony, help fix this problem in the Middle East when his weapons were concerned, but he couldn't help my area. The Jewish community in this country or this town or wherever, was getting oppressed by the Ten Rings or whatever the case, and my family's dead because of it. I'm gonna get Iron Man back. I want to
Yeah.
tarnish his legacy. Even when the humans are heroes, they still ignore the littles, the minorities or whatever. And him being a mutant adds to that with being super powered in conjunction with superpower, quote unquote, with Iron Man and the Avengers. So those are my 3 ideas. Want to get your take on that? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that those are good ideas, but at the same time, I think Disney would kind of want to stay away from doing more, I guess, real world connection type of stuff as far as that goes. It seems like they are continually kind of moving away from that more and more, and not really wanting to get their hands dirty with actual serious things like that, I guess. Um, So I don't really know if they would do something like that. I mean, somebody did make a comment on my post that they would have to think of something to kind of give Magneto a new
Motivation.
backstory, because World War II happened quite a while ago. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, this isn't an attack on Islamic people. I know someone will jump on this, and I know I didn't make it clear in my video.
Angus is racist.
Yeah, they're gonna be Ree. But Sana Amanat, she's the VP of Marvel Comics. She's the one that made Miss Marvel, to name a few and whatnot. Do you think that with the current climate we're in, where instead of viewing Islam as a billion-plus person ideology, they like to sell it as the left likes to sell it as a race. It's brown people. You just hate brown people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
do you think that has anything to play in that? Like, just being objective with
I
the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I think that there is kind of that stigma that you can't really show brown people being bad in any way, really, or it's gonna make people, you know, start screaming at Disney and stuff. I mean, that's totally something that would trigger the SJWs for sure, like no doubt about it. I mean, they like to kind of make the I guess the Islamic groups and stuff a victimized group whenever they can, and stuff. I'm not saying that all Muslims think that way, but that's what the SJWs like to think of Muslims and Islam as. So, um,
I
so
wish I had a soundboard so I could play via saying Muslims. He says
Well,
it's so funny.
I actually want to challenge all SJWs to read the Quran.
yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah, yeah,
I want to challenge SJWs to read.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, good.
We should do that. We should do like a make a wish thing, but it's like for like you can sell it like we're reaching out to like Down syndrome and stuff, but it's really just SJWs. It's like, hey, this is how to actually think out
Yeah.
a problem and not get triggered.
I want to see it pinned down from a hug, and it says,
And I want the final scene to be the more you know.
Whenever I have to deal with these type of people, like they're so ignorant. Like whenever it comes to any sort of historical argument, they're so stupid. They're absolutely just completely ignorant about anything historical beyond what the kind of the main bullet points that the mainstream media like to give people or whatever.
Oh, Columbus.
or
I hate Columbus.
or
That one gets me all the time with like there's this I don't know if it's still up, but really quick, Ricky, I want to hear your point, but I love watching stuff about evolution, especially when you tie it to medicine, because it's like you can't deny it when it's like medicine has been made knowing this stuff, or and viewed
The Earth
world
is
this way.
flat, baby.
And bacteria and stuff, and everyone that's against borders and immigration laws and stuff, well, if the Indians were smart enough to have fucking border patrol, maybe Columbus and all the dirty biological warfare that happened from the Europeans on purpose and on accident wouldn't have happened. It's the perfect
they had
argument
a
against their-
process or something. Yeah, they could have.
yeah, it's like if they medically, just with medical assurance, vetted the people. The course of history might have been totally different if they had this awareness.
I mean, they also like to ignore the fact that pretty much every Indian tribe was warring against every other Indian tribe at that point as well.
Oh my God!
Right.
Thank you. I talked about this months ago. John Wayne. Everyone got triggered. Literally, me and Rookie. I was telling him about. I just saw Starship Troopers at the time, and I was talking about the merits of that system of like, well, if you made people earn the right to vote through military service or civil service, maybe politics wouldn't be so frivolous, and we wouldn't be worrying about what bathroom people are going to. We'd actually worry about real things. And so I was talking about the merit, and somehow my angle tied to the John Wayne interview from '71. I don't know the full interview. I just had a snippet from the History of Playboy book that I have, and they have like iconic interviews in there. And I was talking about how even if he had a racist perspective, he's not exactly wrong. This is from a black guy, I'm from the military. I'm pretty neutral with like any of the race or identity stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of merit despite his perhaps ingrained ideology. And on top, if you look into him, he not only married but had children. He had spawn with Latinas, which if you look at the totem poles, everyone thinks of it as like, oh, Mexicans are way down the list. Well, he slept with them and had kids. He had his legacy with, undesirables, if that's how you view him.
Right.
And so, like, what's that really say about him?
Yeah.
And people were so triggered when I said stuff about like the Indians, because he talked about the Indians too, where it's like, well, I'm not going to apologize because my white ancestors took the land from them. They should have defended it better, got better weapons, or whatever. And it's like, bam, and no one's crying about Indians killing Indians.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only when there's another race involved that they start to care all of a sudden.
Well, yeah, and you can take this from the Crystal Skull. In Mesoamerica, they were building pyramids that were aligned to the Milky Way galaxy and Vega and the Pleiades, but because they could not unite, white men in wooden boats with horses wearing armor took over everything. And now we have those guys at our job site, Angus.
I forgot you're plumbing too. You're doing construction too. So.
Yeah, dude, I'm drilling holes and laying pipe. Same as you.
Hell yeah. MAGA.
I mean, that's
Gender check.
Things have always been up until like the past, 7,500 years or whatever. People have always been at war with each other. People have always been enslaving one another. It hasn't just been white people. Like I can point to many, many accounts where white people have been slaves as well. So
Whoa.
That was the thing I was gonna say. Like how people are like,
Sounds
oh, why?
made up.
Like America, the United States invented slavery. Basically, is what SJWs basically say, or they'll be like, oh, they're the only ones that massacred all these races, and it's like, have you not looked at history
did
ever?
It the best because America.
Well, it's a sad fact. The first slave owner in America was a black man. And you know what black people in Africa were doing during the slave trade?
Oh my God.
Rounding up black people.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I was going to say real quick, though, with what Angus is saying, oh, we did it the best. It's like, well, I think we had the best outcome in the future from having gone from there to here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I mean,
they're in society completely.
Sure.
We've had millions and millions of soldiers die because they wanted to free slaves. So let's not act like we've never done anything to try to make reparations for slavery or anything.
Yeah, that's why I despise the Black Panther movie, because the message of the movie, the idea, the subtext is just because it works doesn't mean it can't be improved, which is a cool idea. It's talking about not MAGA, Wakanda.
Wakanda.
No, there's a reason. There's a reason why I mixed those two up. But potentially, especially where we're at now, it's like pretty apparent that this might have been written under like a Cheeto Man, evil Cheeto Man, perspective. Trump derangement syndrome, all that, where you see this where it's like America was never great. And it's like, okay, then get the fuck out. Like, go to a better place then. And I really hate it because I did research. There's this video that. It's so unfortunate when I release it because I'm like, it's way after Black Panther. No one's going to care. But I'm going to do it anyway. And then the Oscars happened after I did the video. I'm like, ah!
Where they acted like that was the first movie that a black guy ever fucking starred in.
So ridiculous.
But the biggest thing is I actually looked into this. It's hard to find. They seem to try to suppress this. But yeah, there's still like Hatfields and McCoys type divides in the West Africa. Because of your name, because you have a slave name, and I have a slaver name, and those barriers have not broken.
No,
over 200 years later, like there's still resentment because of that, and yet it's just whitey. It's just white guys taught them this. It's like no, they just were enslaving people for prisoners of warfare or whatever, or enslaving them from conquest, and then they realized there's a market.
Yeah.
Well, and that's actually the same kind of thinking from the top down, and whatever you want to call the Illuminati shit, divide and conquer. I think that they're trying to do that to the Fandom Menace now. They're trying to introduce little seeds of dissent where it's like, oh, fuck you, Jeremy, fuck you, EVS, fuck you, Joe. Ugh. No, man, they're the enemy. We got to turn that fucking mirror, like Black Angus said, back on our accusers.
Yeah.
Shade some light on that, right?
exactly.
Do you have any do you have any recent trolls or dissenters of the Josiah gang?
Um, it's been kind of quiet as far as that goes, which I'm kind of disappointed about because maybe I'm not working hard enough on it or something. I don't know, but
you need to make more Brie Larson videos. Where's that one that made the puppet of you? Did that one ever come? That one ever return?
That was
funny.
Saga.
That was funny.
Yeah, I'll jump on that bandwagon.
I wish
man.
that person made more.
Beats.
I wish they made more videos making fun of you, making fun of Brie Larson. That was funny.
Oh, that was a great time. That's actually like I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been Mary Mayhem or something. But she was like asking like, "What's your favorite moment ever on YouTube?" And I'm like, "When a Brie bot made a puppet of me."
Well, it's like to me that was the first sign of intelligence among them. Like they had the ability to grab something, like try to put some art together and like make a joke, kind of like they tried to. They did something like that. They did something. I was like, whoa! I like hand clap. They did something other than just whine. For that, yeah, I give them respect for that. Just for that one. That one's the only one that gets any. That was hilarious. Yeah. Now, if only that one did a series where they'd make more puppets of everyone in the Fandom Menace if they can. I'd like to see the day they do the Black Angus puppet or something.
Oh yeah! Please make a Minotaur puppet of me. I'd love it.
Or
EBS to make a Black Angus puppet.
Yeah.
They didn't have the brains to make it like a voodoo doll to try to like curse you, like fuck you,
stab you with a knife every other Wednesday. Oh, you darn!
No, oh my god! If someone actually gets the idea to do a voodoo doll of you, or like Jeremy or someone, play along with it. Be like, God, my back is killing me.
But they have to have money to buy the materials to make the things, and we know as SJWs they can't. So we could do a mini crowdfund to get the get the hats and the wardrobe for the voodoo dolls and everything.
Oh man,
make it a thing. A whole fun the trolls.
I just love the fact that BrieBot even put like a little red hat on the puppet.
That killed me. I love it.
So funny.
Like, where'd you get the hat from? And then you drew on it, and then you watch the video. I hate your video. Your stream is evil. To see Hitler. It's just like, oh my god. Put editing into the thing. Like,
oh, yeah, they had like Hitler talking over me or something. I don't know.
Oh my god, this sounds amazing.
You haven't seen it, Angus?
I saw the doll. I didn't watch, like, I didn't listen or watch it.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
God, it's hilarious.
Send me a link.
It was showing Josiah commenting on Brie Larson stuff, or like showing comments that he said or something, and like putting it in words, and then having Hitler voiceover in the background.
You know what I miss?
Oh my god!
You know what I miss more than like that idea of seeing more shit like that? Blind Josiah with his YouTube channel.
Where the heck did Blind Josiah go?
He did like 2 videos and he just disappeared. I don't know why. Like, that was some good
great
shit.
Videos.
Wait. Okay, I know what that's from, but when you said that, I was thinking more like Mortal Kombat. So like have Josiah with the band over his eyes, and he's like, and
yeah. I did something in one of my live streams where I slid my hat over my eyes or something, and then somebody screenshotted that and made like an entire account out of it and stuff.
I think it's just you wearing your shades, and they're saying they're blind, but it's like,
yeah, that's right.
The joke is like, wait a minute, how'd you make a YouTube video?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's like,
that's how it went.
I have a hard time driving or something like that.
Yeah, somebody was like, and there was some BrieBot or something that was like being completely serious and saying something like I was blind or something, and then somebody made some parody account out of it. It was great. It was fantastic.
Those are fun. God, you guys, have they just disappeared now off your channels, or do you get like a remnants one, like a straggler, like, hey, you fuck you for talking about Brie Larson, man, and then they run away again, or do you still get hordes? Like, I
had something to do with the BrieBot a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember what it was. But besides that, they've been kind of quiet for the most part. They're probably all waiting for the next Brie Larson thing to come around, and then they'll come screeching at us again and all that type of stuff. So it'll be great.
I feel like it really got boring after a while, though, because it was just kind of like, it's just kind of like following Brie Larson and what she does. So it's just like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I knew more about her than I do about actors I like. By the end of this,
Exactly.
I'm like, where's the Jessica Alba story? Can I get
Yeah,
more of that? Like, what'd
no
she
one
do
talks
actually?
about Jessica Alba's feet, and I assume
You
those are
know,
pretty nice. You know,
Hey, if
but I'm
Jessica
just
Alba,
saying.
if you can get a lot of views doing Jessica Alba videos, then I would totally do that for sure.
That's ditto. But now she's not controversial.
you know what I was thinking, Josiah, with like the blind Josiah joke and all that in your glasses. I was
Yeah.
thinking how funny it'd be if if there's like a Ray Charles YouTube channel where it's like, "Hey guys, I'm Ray Charles. I'm going to react to this trailer," but like he's like looking at like the wall behind him. It's like, what are you reacting? You can't see.
I was gonna say like a kung fu flip, but with Josiah. So it's like, whoa, what are we going to do here today? Whoa, I am kung fu Josiah.
You
And
know the
have a
parody.
mustache, have a beard like from Kill Bill too.
Yeah.
Stroking beard.
The parody I've been waiting for of my channel is Blackface Angus. And no one's
Oh
done it yet.
shit!
I'm
Like full
sad.
watermelon, dude. Full fried chicken.
Like full
fuck.
Sarah Silverman blackface, yeah.
Okay.
No one's got the balls. I'm just like, I can't do my
No,
own
but they
blackface.
did make the penis one though.
Yeah, but I knew who that was. So like he unveiled himself like, yeah, I did that. I'm like, why would you tell me?
That ruins the fun of the mystery.
Yeah.
You gotta guess.
Yeah,
I like how people think I'm behind like 10 parody accounts, and I'm like, if only I had the time. But,
Yeah.
Oh my god, there was one I did, and the person thought it was you, and it's like he's literally talking to you right now.
Yeah, I'm like, how is it
I
me?
think-
Like I'm in the chat and I'm here. You have another computer or something, another phone. I'm like,
Well, I think Josiah is secretly Cecil. You know, man, you get drunk, you slur,
can you do your best?
you
fat
pull
voice?
that beanie over your face. It has eye holes in the fold up where we can't see it.
No, but he's not living at his sister's.
Oh, that's his cover story, bro.
Can
That's
we
just-
cue the X-Files music at this point? Like,
So no, but to fit the story, he'll have to be homeless Josiah soon because Cecil, will be kicked out in a matter of weeks or a week or something. I think so.
wait, what?
To fit with, he's getting kicked out of his sister's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought he already did.
Did you not hear the Cecil story where that happened?
No.
No.
Oh my God.
So I'll sum it up. I'll sum it up kind of. So like he was at his sister's house and she seems to be pretty wealthy or something, and she's like a dog walker. And he wasn't supposed to be at his house at that time or something, and he was out back streaming, and he had like a Jason mask on or like a hockey mask or something. He had some type of
No.
freaky
He had a
mask
creepy
on.
alien like zombie mask.
And he had a mask on. Is the point here? And the dog walker came in and was like, "Dude, there's a freaking dude outside." And then he runs at him like, "Hey, no, don't tell him or nothing." Like with the mask on at night, like at probably around midnight or something. I don't even know. And the sister found out and was like, "Nope, that's it. You're done." And he had a month or something to get out, and now it's just about that time.
Wow.
This was old news basically, so it was hilarious. And then he's like telling everybody on the streams that they're like EBS. It's like, make room on that couch, man. And then like Malin can't stream for a while, so it's like Cecil and Malin.
Dude, I would love. That'd be funny if he goes. What? Malin's in Michigan too, right? That'd be funny if Cecil went all the way out. Oh, Immortal left, but he's coming back. Okay, sorry. That'd be funny. Yeah, if he started this live with Malin. You see them both like stream on the same computer.
That'd be funny.
Oh man, yeah. Like I said, I don't really keep up too much on the whole comics side of stuff. So yeah.
Dude, you should start getting some of them on some streams, dude. There's some, especially Wenger. Oh man, Wenger's funny. Red
he's
Gaze.
hilarious.
You just talk to Red Gaze. He's funny too.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is. So yeah, that shows
a
me
lot
how.
Piggyback Cyber Frog.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good comic skaters always popping up. I'm always on the lookout as much as I can to host them, bring them forward to light, to do what part I can. Like, I'm mainly a fan of Menace channel. I want to ride like the middle, like EVS. He's the model of like the perfect Fandom channel. He's like, content creator, he
Yeah.
hosts people, but he's also Fandom Menace and making fun of Brie Larson, Kathleen Kennedy,
Well,
and Roundhead Brian.
Yeah.
And
Did you
so Red
back?
Gaze
like,
and me kind
well,
of combined for that duo. Or like he's mainly
well,
Comicsgate, I'm mainly Fandom Menace, but we both cross.
Well, it's like with EVS, like that's how he gets people to like both. Because I found him through World Class when they were talking about Star Wars, and then I checked out EVS, and he was doing some funny videos. This is back when he would just live stream pointing at the pad, and that was it. And it was pretty hilarious. And then he's like, "Hey, I got this little comic book idea, this little frog and whatever." And then here's more Star Wars, and it's funny. And then here's this comic idea, and then and there's these wasps, and they get all this blood, and it's in the future. It was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. What's that comic again? And it kind of got me interested in
Yeah.
focusing a little bit on some of the comic stuff. So like he,
Did you
used the
did you
start, and
back
then now
Blood Honey, Josiah?
yeah.
What's that?
Did you back Blood Honey?
No, I didn't. No.
Blasphemy.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for my copy. Dude's signing like 17,000 copies. Is that right, Angus?
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
Something I know he's
I
signing a couple
think
of thousand a
probably
day.
more. But yeah, he's trying to get some done. It's funny too. He'll be like, "Yeah, I'll be able to get these out soon." And it's like, just give like 3 months as your next estimate, because that's 17,000 that you have to sign your name constantly. Imagine doing that. Write your name 17,000 times, and then do another comic book, and then do that again.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's
No
insane.
thanks. But yeah, so
Josiah, okay, so this will lead into some more. You did have a little drama, sort of, although it was mainly directed to someone else.
Yeah.
So I saw it. I'm still trying to write my not review, but analysis. That I think kind of reflects film or adaptation, or just like the weird state we're in, where it's like this is another example why you just need to make original shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like you end up making this kind of collage Frankenstein, uh, if you will, where it's like something cool here, it's something bad here. Was it worth it? I gave it to 5 out of 10 because like shit I like, shit I didn't like.
Yeah.
One of the
Yep.
main things was I felt like they really suppressed the it actor Skarsgård.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Because like there was moments where it's like this is getting wacky and crazy. He's in your face. This is freaky. Like we already know him. If you're here, you've already seen the first part. You just gotta let him out. And
Yeah.
I felt like they hinted him. And then like the spider thing was creepy at first, but I felt like he should have been shifted more. Little things like that. I thought the cast was pretty good, but it's like it's just all over the place.
Mhm. Yep.
what was
It.
no?
I knew what you were doing. But yeah, I want to get your take on that. What you're looking forward to coming out this year and into next year, and then we can get into the drama with it that you have been a part of, assessment.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, coming out, I'm super excited for Joker. I can't wait for Joker. That's definitely a film that I'm very excited about. Man, besides that, I can't really. There's nothing that I can really think of that I am like, super excited about.
Are you gonna watch Obi-Wan?
I mean, I'll give it a shot for sure.
He's mainly a Lord of the Rings guy.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, I am interested to see what they're gonna do with Lord of the Rings. I still don't know how I feel about that yet. I gotta wait for more details about that first. I mean, naturally I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I don't want to have another Last Jedi moment like you guys had with Star Wars. So, I guess I'm at this point I'm just waiting for more details about it because we really don't know too much about it at this point. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that would be at the top of the list of the things that I'm interested in coming out in the future here. Man, besides that, like, I'm excited for the second season of The Boys whenever they release that. That'll be great. I'm excited for Joker. Man,
No, that's fine. I think that kind of sums up how I'm at. Like,
yeah,
just
I
last
think
year,
most
dude.
of the fandom feels that way. Yeah.
Just last year
Yeah.
with Infinity War, and so many other things. I went to the movies like the last couple of years before this year. I went to the movies like at least 30 times a year, You know, because there
Hmm.
was just so much shit I wanted to see. Like, I saw Crawl before I saw It. And that was like 2 months ago. It's crazy for me not to go to the theater at least twice a month,
Yeah.
roughly. Crawl was pretty solid, but even that, and I think this is sort of a problem with Phantom Menace, or like where we're getting insular or we're just getting so hypersensitive. And this is anecdotal, but I think it reflects like. So I called Rookie right after I saw Crawl. I don't know if you saw this movie,
I
Josiah,
haven't
but
seen it yet. No. No.
solid horror movie
Yeah.
with gator stuff. It's pretty well paced and everything, and it escalates. Gets a little silly at the end, but with when they escalate, it's like at the end, film is still a spectacle, so they should be trying to wow you in some way.
Sure.
So I'll give it to them, 8 out of 10. But at the end, spoiler if you're fine with that.
Yep. Go ahead.
Um, the father gets his arm ripped off by a gator because like they they finally get out from the basement. Then it's a hurricane, so it just keeps flooding. So they keep going up through the house. They
Uh-huh.
end up leaving within the levee break, so they end up back in the house. And then like a gator breaks in with like a new flood, and that's in the house now, and it rips off the dad's arm. They end up escaping that. They get up to the ceiling, to the roof finally
Yeah.
after the girl gets attacked,
Yeah.
and while he's on the like laying on the roof, she grabs the flare and signals to the guy, but it's like kind of in a power pose. It's at a closer angle, so you don't really notice it. But she's kind of at a power pose, waving the wand, or whatever, to get the signal
Yeah.
for the chopper, and it's like over her head. She's like looking down at him, and I call her, I'm like, dude, does this sound SJW to you? Does this sound like some feminist shit? And he's like, no, I just sound, because I was thinking this too, like, oh, it's everything kind of led to this making sense. She's the one more able-bodied, not having like a limb ripped off.
Yeah.
So it's just piecing it out, whatever. But that's the
Yeah.
last movie I can remember seeing before It,
Okay.
and it's just like I'm just everything interest is dead now. It's
Yeah.
like no one. So for me, I'm not excited about the Joker, but I'm intrigued. I just want to see a good film. And
Exactly.
the idea
Yeah.
of taking a comic hero, something so zany, and just trying to like really ground him, not like Heath Ledger, which is really grounded in a realistic like terrorist sense, but just ground him into like, let's just tell a character story, and like this becomes a caricature.
Yeah.
And like, that's crazy.
I
So
guess.
I'm actually,
Yeah. I guess for me, it's kind of now that I'm thinking about it, it would be more for like, which filmmakers am I excited to see their next movies about? Like, like there's Christopher Nolan's next movie, which I'm kind of excited about.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know anything. We don't know anything about it at this point, but I am interested to see that, whatever it'll be.
It's got Black Magneto. No, it's got his son.
Spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Rebecca Magneto. Okay.
And then the other film would be Dune by Denis Villeneuve.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
The only thing I've heard about that is, Dune fans are triggered because they're changing like the sex of a main character or something, which I get because apparently that character is the author putting himself in the book pretty much.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I've never read Dune. I tried to watch the first one with Patrick Stewart, and it was just the CGI was so awful, and just like the build up, I was just like, what the fuck am I watching? But
Yeah.
I'm older now. Maybe I'll try it again, especially if Villeneuve's going to do it. It
Yeah.
must be good.
Yeah.
I love everything. Like I wanted to see him do a Star Wars movie, or Peter Jackson, or Del
Yeah.
Toro do a, like people like fish porn with Chip Water. It's a beautiful movie.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite filmmakers. He's great.
Yeah, wasn't he supposed to do The Hobbit?
He was. Yeah, originally he was going to be the one that directed The Hobbit. So
Do you know what happened with that?
basically, The Hobbit got caught in a whole legal battle, and the legal battle took so long that eventually Guillermo del Toro was like, I'm just gonna back out of the project because I want to do some other stuff. So he left the project actually.
Wow, that's weird because like Shape of Water, he spent like, I'm not sure how long he spent, like a year, if not more years, just developing and self-funding the suit for Shape
Yeah.
of Water. So
Mhm.
it's like it's just weird that he would give up like, oh, let me try to bring the Hobbit to life,
Mhm.
make a trilogy of it.
I mean, the legal battle took like a long time. Like this was years. It took like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years before they finally got through it all. So
Yeah, no, that makes sense though, because like I remember I was reading about. Oh, I'm trying to think what movie it was. There was some superhero movie I watched recently where it was like in development since like 1990. It might have been Ghost
oh
Rider.
geez. Oh
Yeah, it was
wow.
Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. It was in development off and on for like 17 years before it came to
Holy
theaters.
crap!
So yeah, and so watching, that's one thing I've noticed. Like I've been going back in time.
Uh huh.
A lot of people. This is kind of one of my main points of Comicsgate is like alternative, and so it's like fresh content. And clearly, you're not. You want to give something a chance before you really write it off or not. And I applaud that. I think we're at a point now where it's like when we see these signs, it's pretty for sure like, yeah, this is gonna be woke. Paying into it to give a valid opinion is just playing their game. You have to just
Yeah.
avoid it. But
Yeah.
there's so much stuff to go backwards and find that's new to you. Like a lot of people never. I haven't watched Nosferatu yet,
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
and Robert Eggers of The Witch is supposed to be adapting that, from what I understand,
Okay.
a remake. So I'm like, ooh, that's cool because that's like 100-year-old movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going back and watching stuff that I've missed over the years as well. Like, there's so many movies that I still am not caught up on. So it's always fun to go back and check out some of the stuff that you've missed over your lifetime. So
Yeah, Rambo. I just started watching
Yeah,
the Rambo
Rookie.
series.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rookie's actually the one that
Doing my
inspired
first
me.
watch party on this Friday for Rambo 1.
Yeah, but yeah, Rambo 1 it's right up there with Die Hard, and
oh dude,
which is
Rambo's so good, man.
Dude.
yeah, and the Predator, like it's amazing action film.
Yeah,
And I think you really like John Wick 3, Josiah.
yeah,
I gave it like a 6.5. I watched 1 and 2, love them. Then I saw 3, and I'm like, all right, now you're sniffing your own farts. This is getting
I
too
wasn't
much.
happy with 3 either, Angus.
And
I thought that there was too much fucking girl power in it.
really,
Sorry.
I didn't feel that.
Hmm.
I thought
No,
I was
because well, you realize like the women in that movie only fought women, and if they fought men, the men were overpowered. And honestly, that was an observation I made for Hobbs and what's his fucking face?
Shaw.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw. I'm not a Fast and
I,
Furious fan, but I kind of want to see that. It just looks fun.
yeah,
And I
Yep.
really hate Fast and Furious movies because they're stupid.
yeah.
and that's why I love them. So
But
Yeah, see, that's exactly what it is too. Like, if I were to critique it, it would get extremely low ratings. But as not really caring about it, just like I wasn't gonna do a review or nothing. It's just like, hey, I'm just watching it for heck's sake. Yeah, it was all right.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
fun.
yep.
Fun enough
Yeah.
for it. It doesn't need to make sense to me. It's just like, okay, that's fine. I'm never gonna watch this again. I'm not gonna think about this afterward. It's perfect for just dirt. Here we go.
yeah, I don't recall Immortal mini girls at all in John Wick 3.
Yeah, me either.
For me, it was just like, it
The
makes
main hunter of John Wick 3 was a female, bro.
main hunter.
Think about it. It's all good. That's a different stream.
Yeah, it was a movie like I was like I got so bored with it because it was just like it was monotonous. So I kind of checked out. I was just like, all right, I pay for this. I like the series. Let me see where this leads. I already heard there's going to be a 4th one, so let's see this cliffhanger.
If you wanted to be more progressive, you should have had your wife pay.
But yeah, I don't recall like besides Halle Berry, I don't even recall women in the fucking movie. So that shows you how much they left an impression on me. Women didn't leave an impression on me at all. Like the women that stick out to me in film is like Mad Men, where they're in the kitchen doing what God intended. Or like All in the Family, where it's that plus bringing him a beer.
It is pretty much the SNL sketch with the guys playing football and then Vanessa Bayer in the kitchen with Totino's or something. She's just there to be in the kitchen, and then when they want more Totino's, she brings out Totino's, and that's it.
Wait, is that the like Super Bowl party?
That was one of them. There's quite a few different ones. They did a lot with that commercial. They had Kristen Stewart go in the kitchen and make out with her at one point.
Yeah, there was like some whole lesbian shit with that. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was just like the point is that they're just watching the game, and then they get a Totino's play box so she can entertain herself for a little bit while they watch the game. And that's the woman just there to bring out Totino's. It's a Totino tray. For my hungry guys. Say what you want about modern SNL, but that was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, there's a few here and there where it's like, I remember when Star Wars was coming out, or it just came out, and they did one where it's like Star Wars toys, where it's like, these like doofus nerds, where it's like, oh, I got this in the package, you know?
And they're like, let's put it in the glass and never touch it ever again. And they
Yeah.
slowly close it. Or the kid's playing with the Millennium Falcon. He's like, move over. That's not how you do it. You land it like this.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's pretty funny.
There's moments like that, you know. It's funny too. I don't know. It makes me think of this whole cancel culture thing. Oh, really quick. Getting back to John Wick before we go on. John Wick 3, like I said, it's redundant. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, cool. And it's weird, though, because I give credit. They expanded this story in this society. That's the other thing, though, that just hinders it, because it's like, all right, if you got, like, these people all over the place where you can clear out, like, Central Park or wherever, and just have your guys surrounded by assassins, how exclusive is this thing, really? You know, where it's like everywhere he goes, there's just more assassins, more assassins. It's like, this is getting stupid.
Uh,
Um,
they breed more and more these days, assassins. So that's
yeah,
why
it's
there's more
you know,
spawn of
like
assassins.
I don't believe.
They're
I
age
just, you
two.
know, like they leave us impression it's like, you know, only the best, like, you know, the top special forces type people could ever be in this. That's very exclusive to humanity to complete that level, whether you're in a war state or not, because they lower the requirements, or, like, you know, what gets you to pass when you're in a war state, and they make it stricter when you're not, because they want, you know, they're not going to keep you in here if you suck. But
Well, the Russian ballet is fierce, man.
yeah, oh, okay, yeah, okay, I remember the ballet, but that wasn't like a big part. That was just kind of like, all right, I need a ticket, let me cash in this favor, and then that was done.
Yeah.
Right?
That
Kind of like mercenaries, kind of.
Yeah, and Halle Berry, I was surprised how, like, they just wrote her off the story, like, once she, like, got home to the desert, and like, oh, that's it for me. Let me spit in your bottle.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
okay, she had some good scenes. I was surprised, like, the stunt work. Like, she's like 50.
Well,
So
but
they got everything.
did you see how they shot her dog and she went ape shit? She's this
Super Saiyan woman.
yeah. Yeah, dude.
I
That's what
never felt there was a whammon thing.
there's
No,
more of an SJW agenda in 3 than the other two.
I wouldn't
And I
say
wonder if
I
it's
wouldn't say
because
that
the
was
people
an
are fucking with
SJW thing. I mean, the cool thing about her is that she had her dogs as kind of like her weapon as well, you know. And so her dogs really played a big part in kind of kicking everyone's ass and stuff. So, which was kind of
Yeah, they
cool.
were
The
bigger and
fact, the way
scarier dogs than Nick had, right?
the way they filmed the dogs with her, like the fluidity of, like, you know, not a lot of cuts in between these scenes. That's what shot me with the dogs. It's like, not only are you coordinating people from everywhere jumping and attacking, but then you throw dogs in the mix. It's like, oh, so, like, I give credit where it's due, but I was underwhelmed.
Sure.
Like, made me check. It's like, not it's not quite the same comparison, but when I saw
But
the first,
I'll throw you this bone as a fan of dogs biting guys in the dick.
is that what gets you off at night?
This movie delivers. You know,
Canine
yeah,
gender check.
yeah. Canine gender.
That's good. That's good. Fuck, you made me lose my train of thought on that.
Talking about you're giving them credit where it's due.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, John Wick 3 felt like, in certain ways, with just the monotony, I would say, for the most part, it felt, best comparison I have for experience would be my first experience going to the theater to see Transformers. 'Cause I was late to the game. I wasn't in the moment with Transformers. But I like 1 and 2 once I saw them, and, you know, saw 3. You know, even though Megan Fox is gone, it's like, okay, whatever. It's still robots punching each other and crazy CGI. Then I saw 4, and, like, the kind of cliffhanger is like, oh my god, we're gonna learn about, like, the makers of the Transformers. And I'm
Mm.
like, motherfucker, I spent like 3 hours here in goddamn Hong Kong or wherever, and just now into going into the 5th movie, you're going to hint at, like, the origin of these things to, like, keep us coming.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm not a Transformers kid. Like, I liked Beast Wars and the toys. That's about it. I didn't grow up with that shit. And it felt kind of like that. That's the best comparison I have for it. It's just like,
Mhm.
oh, now you're doing it. It's just, yeah. And I felt kind of the same way with Rambo 2, because I'm watching the series, and I love Rambo 1. It's so fluid, consistent. It breathes when it needs to. It doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Listen to this, Rook.
perfect use of dialogue and everything.
Yep.
And just the stunt work, the timing, it really is. I would give it like a 95 or higher.
Mhm.
Um, And then two, it just felt like let's just kind of go through the same motions, but now we're back in Vietnam or Thailand or Laos or wherever, Cambodia, and I'm just like, eh. But they did have one thing where it's like, okay, this could have long-term effect, especially knowing there's a part five, and some of the dialogue he says, where it's like, oh, it might touch on this. Me going through a series currently is like that little love story. It's like, oh, he finally felt like he relate to a girl, then pop, 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 dead. Like right when he has a moment of like engagement with her, it's like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming, and that's definitely a motivation for him. And I said this earlier on Ricky's stream. I definitely see some parallel to storytelling you could have to make a modern day Rambo s type. Not the same plot points or anything, but there's a tone there with like being in a shit war where it's like who's your enemy, who's your friend,
CSD,
all
and
that.
then you stuck your shit out for people, and yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like it's different because like people in some degree are behind the troops as opposed to Vietnam. They spit on you and shit. But people don't get it. It's not like World War II where like everyone's losing a kid, everyone's flying a flag for their dead kid in the window. Like you're gonna see 5 or 6 down the street and stuff, and everyone's
Right.
flying the American flag, and we're behind the troops, even if we think it could go different or something. There's like a unity. Never had that again, especially with media and stuff, and like look at the carnage, you white racist, and whatever other bullshit. This is modern
You
colonialism.
bastards.
You know, um, I think there's definitely some parallels to be had. We're getting a new hippie movement in a deranged kind of way.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
original hippie movement was like, all right, this is like we're kind of stale, and we just got to break the mold. Now it's like you can do whatever the fuck you want, but that makes you just as sterile in a certain way, like the '60s before the love era,
Yeah.
because no one is unique. It's like syndrome when everyone's special, no one is, and that's why you get like, not only am I black and uh, disabled, but I'm trans. And
Yeah.
once everyone's trans, then it's like, well, I can't wait to see what the next thing after trans, because now I'm
I
aware
I'm
to
a,
it.
I'm a time traveler. Give me my rights.
And I fucking hate to say it this way, but what keeps your ability to protest and promote flower power? It's those soldiers dying on the field, fighting the enemy that you won't go out and confront because, you're going to university, you're on your computer. I mean, there's real world shit out there that motherfuckers have to deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this kind of goes back to like why the Jewish state, like Israel, whether you're pros or not, devout with like that kind of policy and your mindset. There's something to be
Magnet,
said. There's something to be said about like their state in the world, where like they're surrounded by enemies, whether it's like passive or explicit. They're surrounded by enemies. There's never like a dull time where it's like, we can cool out, we can be chill. Like no, they always got to be on guard, and
Yep.
that's why they like have like a forced draft essentially, unless like you're going to college or something. Every Wonder Woman was in the Israeli
yeah.
forces.
Every
And
Israeli is required to be in the military.
yeah, and when you have that, people are aware, they're appreciative, and so they don't take stuff for granted, and they also learn those skills and bring them, and the not personality, that's not the right word, but like that work ethic from the military.
Hmm.
So it's like a well-oiled machine where now it's like um, you've had like the economy fallout from Bush into Obama, and Obama set stuff up because of that. And now we're dealing with like, what do we keep? What do we expel with Trump? Is he going to be on the second term? Uh, you know, this like pretty much peacetime and stuff. Like, there's no just guiding force, and it's like entertainment's really where this is why we're important. Just telling how we see it, whether you agree with us or not, is entertainment is the ultimate, propaganda. Uh,
Yeah.
you can like Knives Out's being applauded. It's like fuck MAGA people movie, and
Yeah.
it's like I thought it was a murder mystery. What the
Right.
fuck does that have to do
Exactly.
with like you know?
Yep.
And this is how you indoctrinate people, and you get everyone polar and stuff.
Hmm.
Well,
This is
that's
why,
why it's so insular, the kind of stuff that Disney and their ilk are trying to do. They're trying to go back in time. Okay, so take somebody like Captain America, right? Famous for punching Hitler straight in the face. So what do? They say he didn't actually do that. America Chavez knocked his wrist out of formation, and she was the one that punched him in the face. So they're trying to plant these kernels, which goes against everything that feels right inside. And that's what upsets us. So that's why we're taking to the microphones, people.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of pick it up again because we kind of got in a weird full softball era right there. Josiah, the drama, thanks to It Chapter 2. Run us through this stuff because this is some wacky shit that was going on. And I'm still waiting to see the potential fallout, whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we're at with all of that right now. But let's see here. Like, I'm trying to remember how it all started. Basically, it started with there was a bunch of SJWs who were upset with it, of course, because it killed a gay person in it, and there was gay people that were brutalized in it, and so SJWs were whining about that and being all offended by that and stuff. And among a bunch of other things as well, like they were even talking about how there's vomiting in the movie. Oh no, there's vomiting.
I saw the list. Yeah, there's some gore.
Oh, the trigger warning list. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I reposted it and I was like, how sensitive do you have to be to get upset with things like vomiting? And then basically I don't know if we want to name this person or not, but
No, you can name because they did this in public, so it's not like I'm bringing it up like from the shadows.
Yeah, so Julie, Wished Upon a Vlog, came after me in my post about that, and she was like, people aren't being sensitive. There's gay people in the movie, and she was basically saying that because there's gay people in the movie, that made it woke. Was pretty much how it went down. And I was like, wait, what? So I kind of came back at her a little bit with that, and then it kind of went silent for a bit, and I was like, okay, whatever. So I just kind of forgot about it. And then the next day I was I logged into YouTube, I went to the homepage, and I see a post from Julie on her community tab on the homepage. And the first few lines were something like, people are being cowards in the fandom Menace or something because they're not saying that It Chapter 2 is woke because it has gay people in it or something. And so I was like, what? Wait, what? Really? Are we really doing this, Julie? Like, what are we doing? And so, I kind of looked at the comments and stuff, and, there's people that are like, yeah, geeks and gamers are the biggest hypocrites ever. And I was like,
wow, that's a good Jeremy doing an impression of a soy boy. That's a good impersonation of Jeremy doing a soy boy.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just let Jeremy know about this because, that's my job. When things happen that are talking about geeks and gamers, I let them know. So, I sent some screenshots of it to Jeremy and stuff. I was like, hey, just, making you aware that this is something that's going on right now. And so, Jeremy being Jeremy, he had to jump into the ring, get involved because that's what he does. So he, I don't know, he made some sort of jab at Julie on Twitter or something. And then she kind of got really upset and got really mad, and it was just crazy. So then she blocked me because I guess she found out that I like screenshotted her community post and sent it to Jeremy or something.
Her public post?
Yeah, her public post. By the way, during this entire time, I should backtrack a little bit actually. After she made her community post, I did a video about the whole SJWs being upset about It Chapter 2 on my channel. I never once even alluded to Julie in that entire video. I wasn't even thinking about Julie at all while I was making that video. It's directly about the SJWs being upset about It Chapter 2. And in the comments and stuff, she started to come after me a little bit, and she was like, kind of doing the same thing that she was doing with her community post a little bit. And, so that kind of was a part of it as well. And so then she blocked me on Twitter, and then, shoot, what have this is just crazy, man. This whole thing is nuts. And so, I kind of like, confronted her about it, and I was like, you know what, you're kind of pushing it too far. We can't just automatically say that anything that has gays in it is woke. Like that isn't the way that we should be doing things, because that kind of defeats our entire purpose. That's what the SJWs want to believe about the Phantom Menace. That's the kind of way that they want to portray us, is that we are against anything, literally anything that has gays in it, women in it, or black people in it, or whatever, whatever they say. So,
POCs, yeah.
yeah, so I was like, that's the thing, is that this is the way that the SJWs paint us, and this isn't us. We actually have opinions that make sense. We have nuances in our opinions, and that's one of the things we have to do. We have to look at the nuances in these situations. We can't just flat out say that anything that has gay people in it is woke. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well, they clothe their lack of response to our logical points with identity politics.
Exactly.
Yeah, they think it'll scare you. Okay, that was funny. I don't know if you saw this little saga I had, but there was that whole shit with the 501st on Twitter, where they.
Yep.
It turns out they actually, the bitch organized on Facebook and then said like, "Hiyo Silver in a way attacks Steven on Twitter. Here's his handle." And
She's that poor girl that had a heart attack.
oh god,
She got memed to death apparently, or something, or
yeah. So
injured by memes.
So of course you've seen on Geeks and Gamers the art Steven made, which was he used the 501st logo as a parody.
Mm-hmm.
And then these people were like, "How can you use a charity that helps cancer kids?" And they totally ignore the fact that like these same people, they ignore that like SNL does it repeatedly through history, like Ichibaka pointed out. Or even another example, these same people get triggered about this and say you're attacking a charity group, which it's really a cosplay group that does some charity as an option.
Mm-hmm.
They ignore something like the Ralph Retort, who raised like $20,000 for St. Jude's, and Wall Street Journal or whatever publication, I think it was Wall Street Journal, smeared them so bad that St. Jude's is scared to take Nazi money, so they gave it all back. They just refunded it, or YouTube refunded everybody. One of those two things happened because SJWs, and these people never cried about, "You're taking money from cancer kids, you're harming people." They never said anything. But you talk about these Star Wars LARPers, were really, I called it before I even knew it. I was like, sounds like this might be some Access type of shit or something that they're really concerned with, the way they were talking. And then lo and behold, you start seeing tweets where it's like, "We can't let them think we're Fandom Menace. Disney will pull our licensing allowance or whatever," because they're actually, some of them are extras for Star Wars projects since like episode 2.
Gotcha.
So it's like, ha ha ha, and then all these weirdos like B-Level and his cohorts, his cronies, this is like their second claim to fame, or they get attention. 'Cause it's like, the Phantom Menace attacked a woman. They rallied and they put her in the hospital. They gave her a heart attack.
Evil man.
And
Evil
what it
himself.
was this bitch. She didn't even show herself in the hospital. It could be a random screen or something from anybody in the hospital, but it's a picture. Ironically, it's on War Campaign. She took a picture of like the hospital table in her room of a bottle of lube. Retard.
It was like saline or something, wasn't it?
No.
Like
It
it
was
didn't
like,
have her vitals or nothing.
It was like ultrasound lube bottle. She's like, "I'm in the hospital. I had a heart arrhythmia," which is a panic attack.
My smartphone upset me.
I opened up my phone and looked at
smeared
Twitter
people.
and
Yeah.
Not only did she smear
pathetic,
Steven,
man.
but she also tried to, in two different ways, she got the attention of the bigs like Nerdrock, or tried to, Nerdrock, Anna, Geeks and Gamers, and Jeremy separately.
You should got the attention
but
of with
also-
Urban Acolytes.
But also, not only did she like try to get their attention, but she also tried to like, the way it's written is like to implicate them, where it's like, "You better fix this, or people will think your artist is attacking charity." And,
Yeah.
and it's like, this doesn't work, and I'm not gonna back down. I don't give a fuck. And it's funny because they try to smear me like, "You attack a woman, you feel big and stuff," and then they won't stop. I try talking like people, and because I even said like, are women, like, you're a feminist, are women strong and independent, or do they need some guy on the internet to defend them?
Uh-huh.
and no reply. All right, so that shows you something. And they just keep on with this identity politics. So then I flip the script and I'm like, anti-fandomers attack LGBT man of color, and I don't see any of these fuckers in my comments after that.
Yeah,
And so
right.
it's like,
I love those whole events going on with you.
and I have the
You just make
perfect
them go,
meme.
oh, but boy, sorry.
I have the perfect like thumbnail because I took like a teehee picture for War Campaign to meme me. And I made a sex make my thumbnail because Urban Acolyte. This shows you how funny it is that how dead Urban Acolyte's channel is because everyone that followed him was Fandom Menace. Because I knew this guy before I ever knew Bullshitters or Jeremy. It was like Mike Zero, then Star Wars Theory, and Urban Acolyte. Some of their videos, like he did like a Knights Run video. He had a following, and he was interesting. And then for whatever reason, he got salty with his own people, and this shows you the state. He wants to talk about me as like the front runner attacking 501st, but he has to put a picture of Jeremy in the thumbnail to try to get attention.
Yeah,
Rock.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Briggs is a lightning rod, man.
And it's like little old me, and he can't even actually address anything I said.
Of course.
Because I made a point where it's like, so we just had the war campaign smearing, which has completely been destroyed. EVS has removed the title of Theoden. He has recaptured the title of Caesar.
He saw the gays before
Yeah.
him, and
Yeah.
was brought to the light.
Old Methwin and Smiller tried to askew and make him turn his back on his paying fans and customers.
Even though he was being accused of schemes and scams.
Yeah, this whole scheme, and they were the one doing schemes and scams. And I kind of compared it where it's like, hey, at least this pussy like Ben Hennessy can he can't handle the meme, so he gets off Twitter. And it's like that's what you should do if you can't handle it.
No,
just
the next
log
day,
out or ignore it.
The next day, there's a report in an article that Ben Hennessy is in a hospital due to excessive memeing. No, just kidding. That'd be funny.
Really quick, going back to the Julie thing because there's some good comments I wanted to address. Frank says, "Good soy Jeremy voice." That's his Josiah. Kermit said something. He's like, "Julia's bae," and it's like, "Stop it, get some help." He says, "If only she fucked frogs, she would wish upon this log." But no, I got no F hogs. I got to F hogs. There you go. Tommy says, "Damn those G&G hypocrites." And then Kermit replied back. He says, "The log wants what the log wants."
Okay.
And see, he also says, "I wish she came after me, but I always come first." Oh, we got a new guy in the chat. The CJH.
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen him before.
Mm-hmm. Cool guy.
Hail friend. Oh no, the cops are after
And
me.
hail
They
dubs.
Run,
got the
duck.
black. They got the
Hide.
black radar out.
Hide.
They've spotted me.
Quick, we'll cover you.
See, Kurt says she was having my abortion. What the fuck?
Oh man.
Oh my god. Super Channel Awesome. Oh, was he really big? Urban Acolyte. Yeah, he's still at 60,000 subs for some reason. Even though no one watches his shit.
Shout out to Super Channel Awesome. He is a good supporter during my last stream and gave a few dollars too. So,
Right, well, hell.
Nice. Cool.
Snowdub says, yes, back to Julie. I got a chubby.
Well, I'll just say too, regardless of the stuff that happened, like she's helped me out with quite a few things and was a huge part of the Rookie's Quest trilogy. So I mean, the whole thing was a huge drama fest of stuff going on.
Yeah. I'll
with
give her
all
credit.
that, but
she did great with the Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
but,
I'm not gonna tell anyone else how they should, handle their relationship with her. So I'm not gonna do that. If anybody else is still friends with her, that's totally fine. I'm kind of sad that it ended the way it did. I was just trying to point out to her, we can't take this radical step where we just start calling anything that has gays in it as shit woke and stuff.
I agree with that part. Definitely.
Yeah. My whole thing is, how to say this. So like when I'm not sure if you know this, but when Micah Smiller had his whole ordeal with the "Pride is a sin" hashtag Pride Month is clearly a troll on the gays, not the red gays, just the gays.
Mm.
Um,
with an S, not a Z.
yeah,
Okay.
it was disingenuous in his whole defense and stuff, and he tries to apologize because he realized like, oh god, like a lot of customers are gonna be pissed, not just gay people, and so he's like, I got a gay friend. It's like, wow, wow, just fucking own
I
it,
get
dude.
do
Like,
some Randy Newman. I got a gay friend in me. But
why are you in
uh,
the dark?
I know my lights are. I had the windows open, but there was a funny Duck to Naples, Dirt or Doug meme
Oh,
on
I saw
Twitter.
that. Take it down. Take it down. It's
I
funny
know
though.
you like that. I know you like that, Angus.
I love it. Yeah, tapeworm Doug. Fuck, you totally distracted me. What I was gonna say.
Sorry, it was funny.
Yeah. So yeah, like there's the Pride Month stuff, and even when that happened, and I have like a view of his Christendom, I was like, well, I don't think anyone's a bigot per se because they are adamant about what their faith says about sexuality concerning like morals.
Mm-hmm.
Me being LGBT, which I don't care about the labels, but me being part of that identity, quote unquote. Um, I don't vilify people for that. Like
Mm-hmm.
if Josiah thinks gays are a sin, it's like, yeah, I agree with your book. Like it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's your faith. Now it's all about like how you handle it, and there's varying degrees. Like I grew up my teen years on until I became atheist Catholic, and of at least their like official stance is like you can be gay, but you have to be celibate because it doesn't go with the Bible. And so there's like that kind of middle ground of rationality. Other, I would say, lower in the sense of like historical, newer faiths, denominations. Lower Christendom is a lot more Old Testament with it to varying degrees, and I would say Mike is part of that. But he seems just very hateful.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Julie. I see. It's like your faith. I assume she's Catholic. She's Irish. Um, I assume that it's got like a more old school world view of that, and that's fine. But when you're just like, oh my God, there's a gay in a movie and they kissed in front of a child. This is child abuse. That's when you cross the line with me personally, because
Yeah.
it's like, uh, sorry to break it to you, there's gay mommies and gay daddies that are
Yeah.
kissing in front of their kids. Whether it's theirs they procreated or the ones they bought from tubes or from surrogates or what have you.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so just having that kind of view, it's like I'm not gonna say cancel you. That's stupid, but
Yeah.
you're canceling yourself with your rhetoric.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the way that I look at it and stuff. Being a Christian, I don't agree with that type of lifestyle and stuff. But at the same time, I can totally still objectively look at it and be like, yeah, this is something that happens in everyday life. There's actually normal people out there that are gay and stuff. That their existence doesn't mean that they're woke. So
God, yeah, look at some of the hate I get on my hot takes. I'm not woke.
yeah. Exactly. So, like that's something that I've kind of been that I've kind of seen cropping up a little bit every once in a while, and even in the Fandom Menace and stuff. People will just kind of automatically say anything that has a strong female, quote unquote, strong female character in it, or gay people or whatever. They'll just automatically just write it off and be like, "Oh, that's gonna be woke," and all that type of stuff.
Or like whenever they see Jesse Milestone or Mecha Random, SJW.
Yeah, yeah. And I just think that that's something that we need to kind of watch out in ourselves. We shouldn't just automatically write things off for that. And that doesn't mean that it probably will be woke because it has those elements in it. And it's not because of that. It's just because Hollywood likes to politicize those types of things. But I don't know. I just think that that's something that we need to be mindful in ourselves about. Just make sure that we don't just automatically cancel something just because that has those types of things in it. So,
Well, you're right. I think a lot of the wokeness comes from ad campaigns and the studio's reaction to criticism and or fudging the numbers on sites that are supposed to be unbiased so as to promote their films and we saw that kind of stuff with Ghostbusters and Captain Whammon and all that kind of stuff.
But
Yeah.
that
But
was
there's
before that was
also,
before
like
incels became a word.
for real, but like Deadpool 2, okay?
Yeah.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead had a girlfriend. I
Yeah.
didn't fucking care, and they didn't
Yeah.
shove her down our throats. It was just kind of like, yep, this is a
Her only
thing.
line was
Right,
highway.
great.
Exactly.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love that gay couple because like she's like the brooding dyke in the relationship that just hates every man and stuff,
Yeah,
and
and her girlfriend kind of thought Deadpool was, I don't know, a little cute.
Well,
Yeah.
she was like
it's
she
fun.
was like an anime character brought to life. Highway.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And,
if anyone gets triggered, like I said, dyke or whatever, I'm from the school of like I don't know if you saw the Mule with Clint Eastwood,
yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I love that part where it's like, hey fella, you need some help, and it's like we're dykes on bikes, and then he's like bye
Well,
dykes, you know.
well, isn't just dyke just another word to say lesbian anyway? It just kind of means more tough, kind of.
I don't know. Some people think it's derogatory. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
some people think midget's derogatory. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. So it depends on what you feel like, I guess.
Oh my god!
Depends on the
Hey,
day.
really quick. We're talking about midgets. All right.
I
midgets.
mentioned it, but okay.
Well, there's a funny joke that I saw from a midget comedian, and so this is like real world advice that I tell people. Like I have these conversations in the bathroom about this joke with strangers, and like sometimes you go to the urinals section as a man if you identify that way, and you go to the urinal. Sometimes there might be three, and there's that one like handicapped plus child size one, and there's like two normal ones adjacent. All right, so sometimes there's a guy in that last stall in the urinals, and I'm the guy that'll come up and pee in that next stall next to him. Now, why I do that is not because I'm more campaign gay and Comicsgate gay. That is a factor, but I do it because it's a joke. All right, so this midget's talking about he went to the airport and he really had to piss when he got off, and he goes to the bathroom and there's this jackass using the midget stall, and this midget behind him is like jumping up and down, just trying to like do whatever he can to like keep the piss in. And the guy like turns around and he sees him. And he's like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" Because he kept him for using the one stall he could use. So you dropping the midget made me think of that. If you're a man, always use the appropriate size urinal because you never know when there's a midget in need of draining his bladder, and you are the dick keeping him from that. 'Cause he can't reach. He doesn't have a footstool. He can't get to the normal one, fucker.
He can't just use the grip on the side because there isn't one for them. He can't pull the rope to get higher. There's no way for him. There's no maneuver.
It's just the Tao of Angus.
He can't sit. He
You can
can't
buy
sit
his
on
fucking
another.
book on his Patreon page.
Oh my
right?
god. Oh
Your
my god.
merch store.
I won't say it here. But a couple, Ricky and Morley, one of my chats. You know what I like to say all the time, and I was talking to Red Gaze. It's like that's really just my life philosophy: is don't be a
Don't be a midget. What?
oh, it's something close, but
I know. I know. I'm kidding.
so yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I've had a lot of fun. I went way over than I normally would since I work in the morning. Just I saw something, or maybe we're talking. You work like what 4 or 5 jobs now?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working a lot, man.
There's some people in Africa that could use those jobs.
Yeah. I know. I'm so white and privileged to be able
You're
to
just taking them away from
God.
other people. You're so
Such a
goddamn
job.
white privileged. Yeah, just goddamn you.
You're white privilege working a bunch of different jobs to make ends meet.
And you're making
so
like
privileged.
$1 over like every woman who's making 70 cents in every fucking job you're doing.
Yeah, you're making 70 cents times 5 or whatever more.
It's factually proven I make $152 more every hour than the average woman does. So yeah, there you go.
Oh my god! That is something. All right, so I love Wisecrack. I don't know if you watch that channel. They do really cool pop culture philosophy stuff. Some streams with like Jared, the main guy, and usually just formatted stuff. If you ever seen the Garrick's Wormuloid like hidden meaning videos, that's from Wisecrack. But I was watching the stream today, from like early today or yesterday, and I don't know who the fuck any of these stream people were. I never saw them before. but they're part of the creative team, and they're saying like, "What's your slaps and what's your whatever?" I don't know. It's like what makes you happy recently and what's like really pissing you off. And of course, the chick has to cry about Forbes releasing some article about 100 most influential or innovative leaders in the world or something. I don't know if it was for business or just politics or what. But she's like, there was only one woman on this list. I can't believe it made it through all the editing and revisions. And I'm just like, oh my god, you want handouts? You want handouts for oh, what do you call those goddamn trophies that like every kid gets at an event? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Participation trophy. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Participation
this is-
award, basically.
yeah, it's like this is supposed to be the 100 most influential or innovative. Clearly,
But I tried.
clearly-
Angus. Give me my
clearly
goddamn
one
trophy.
of the biggest names in business doesn't think women did much.
I
So
kicked the
I
ball
would kind
on
of
the
value their
team.
opinion.
Give me my trophy.
Well, that's why there's a new Monopoly game out where women get like $230 for passing go.
They get the wage at the better cap or whatever. It's
I
reversed.
mean, that's obviously equality. Obviously, like
yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
I feel like
how
it's a
equality
scale.
works.
I feel like it's a scale where, like, when they say equality, sometimes people that think like that and think the pink tax is real and all that, they look at the scale and go, "Look at all the weight you've had on that side. Now let's swap sides, and then that's equal now." Rather than making it an evil plane, and it's like, I think we have different definitions on what equal means. But all right,
Equality means
Yeah,
treatment.
they're hanging out on Vermont Avenue and they're sending me to jail because they
Josiah,
run court.
when is your anniversary? If you don't mind me asking.
October 5th.
Oh, perfect. You can get your wife Miss Monopoly.
Oh, I already have it ordered, man. I already told all about it.
Dude, honestly, you should do a live stream with this with your wife and maybe another couple.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, Angus. It's Ms.
you guys can play for at least.
Right.
Oh yeah, isn't it Mrs. Markle? No.
She's a
You know,
captain. She got promoted, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I told my wife that, actually, I was like, hey, did you know that there's a new Monopoly game where the women actually get paid more than the men because equality? And she was like, wow, I'm actually really insulted right now that they actually made a game like that. It's like,
We know you can't win without a boost.
yeah, exactly.
Even in make believe.
The thing, right? No, you nailed it on the
So
head,
bad,
Angus.
So bad. And they think that they're doing great work for women out there, and
I mean, what do they plan to accomplish? They're setting up the ideas like we're gonna let girls play this, and this is gonna indoctrinate them to think they deserve more. Then they're gonna go to McDonald's and get a minimum wage fucking job, just like the other guys.
exactly. Yeah.
And then
Dude,
the guys will
you're
probably get
gonna-
raises because they actually
You're
can
gonna
lift
pull
weight.
the tab
Yeah.
off your French fries. You're gonna pull the tab off your French fries, and it's gonna say, "You're a man. Go fuck yourself."
Did you guys, speaking of fry, oh my god, they showed like this pink tax thing where they like went to a chicken place or a French fry, I don't remember, and they like had pink boxes, and they're like, this is like $4 more than that one, and that's how it works with pink tax. Like,
Oh
what?
my gosh.
They're like, the only difference is the color, and I'm like, and what? So, like, if you guys watch Shoe on Head, like, she points out great things like, the razors are completely different for women because they have different needs for it. So it's like, we just go hair
Dude,
be
I
gone,
love
and they
women's
go
razors.
they
They get
want
that
it to
extra
be different, so they pay extra for the extra stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
women don't have to wear their makeup, they don't have to buy the women's stuff, they can get the men's stuff and settle just fine too. So there's no one's forcing them to do anything.
Oh my God.
With it.
Thank you, dude. Like, have a girlfriend or wife, and then be like, "Hey, let's go to Subway. Let's just do something simple." And like, if they're a little unkempt, or it's like after work or something, they're going to do their makeup or they're going to touch it up. Like, women are part of the problem for women with beauty standards. Like, men, like, we just need a hole. Look at all the black guys that get catfished by fat white bitches. They just need a hole. That's all we really need. Like, yeah, we want Victoria's Secret, but we'll settle for Plenty of Fish stories for Rookie Critic.
Yeah.
We're not really that picky. We have urges.
Yeah.
We have low investment when it comes to like pregnancy and stuff, like the biological needs that drive us compared to women. And that reflects in all their shit and all their beauty standards. Like a guy can, like you watch stuff about like the '90s shows, like 90210 and all this stuff. Luke Perry and stuff like, oh yeah, dude's had like a 5 o'clock shadow and he smelled like cigarettes and sex every day, and women love him. And it's like no dude wants to see like Jennifer Lawrence or any hottie of today without her makeup done, because you like see like real bodies exposed on like tabloids at the market, and you're like, ew,
Yeah.
get the fuck away from me. And then women sustain this market. Like we don't make you buy makeup, Um,
We don't
Yeah.
go, oh God, you're actually going to leave the house without it?
we,
I don't know if we can be married
we,
anymore.
if women just got together and were like, they said like, oh, let's bring the bras, we're gonna show the patriarchy, and we're just like, cool, nipples, exposed. But if women got together and were like, we're not gonna shave our legs, and if like that just became the norm, we would get used to it. Like you see it in porn, where like porn, it's affected the normalcy of like genital shaving and stuff. But beforehand, no one gave a fuck, So
Yeah,
you could
exactly.
revert it backwards.
Cavemen dealt with what they had. Or they did what they can with what they had. They had to work with something.
Well, in
You had
case
to
in
see-
point,
You had a whole
Han Solo in the classic trilogy, right? Leia's hands are dirty, and he's like getting closer and closer, and the tension is building, and and then like we flip to the sequel trilogy, and like Rose Tico is like mouth raping FM radio.
I like how you connected those two things together right now. I never thought of those
Sexually
two.
assaulted a man of color.
Right.
Well,
This is
after she attempted to kill him.
Yeah.
This is a violent sex crime / a particular accident.
My hands are dirty too. Save what we love.
Yeah, he broke his temporomandibular joint.
Yep.
So, case in point, Josiah, are you going to be playing Miss Monopoly with the wife soon? And if you are, will you identify as a woman?
I mean, yeah, I can do that nowadays. I can just flip flop however I want. So yeah, I'll be definitely identified.
Dude, yeah, like that Jessica Yaniv. I don't know if you watched her
Oh my
debate
gosh,
with
dude.
Blair White,
I did.
but she was
Oh, yeah.
talking. She's like, like I'm trans. Like,
Oh my gosh.
you can't just pick who's trans. Like, if you say you are, you are. And it's like, there you go. I'm a woman.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to find this. I'll have to find this article, but it's funny because I kind of figured this game out a long time ago. It's like, I can just pretend I'm a woman. I just say it when I feel like it.
Yeah.
You got
can't
someone like Ruby
discriminate
Rose.
against me, so.
You got someone like Ruby Rose. Well, not trashing, but like she's in this gender fluid idea or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got people do this shit where it's like, oh, my friends like, they know how to talk to me if I wear this color bracelet or something bullshit. Or it's like, oh, you're a man today, so hey Phil versus like, hey Philomena, the next day, whatever dumb shit.
Oh
Where
my
it's
gosh.
like, oh, well, I got an interview today, so let me pretend to be a girl so you won't be too mean
Right.
to me. But
I want to be offended by the patriarchy, so let me wear the pink one today. And then, go.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck, They just
I
makes
wonder
the
which bathroom I went to piss in today.
Which one's full? You would get your. Don't lose the band.
Why
Damn it, it's the only
wouldn't
way I can
everyone?
prove it.
Why wouldn't everyone identify as a woman so you go to the cleaner stalls? Like,
Right?
Well, God, I don't know. At the subway bathroom, the women's stalls is not freaking cleaner. My God, I'll just tell you.
Well, but I doubt that any woman in
You're close to
history has to
Portland,
deal
rookie.
with trough.
You're
Yeah.
close to the hipster Portland shit, so I mean,
God,
it's
one
a totally
time-
different ballgame.
An hour before closing, God, I forgot that she was some chick was in the bathroom, and then she leaves as I'm locking the door, and then she's like behind me, like what the hell? And then okay, I let her out, but then it freaked me out. I didn't expect anybody to be in the store as I'm walking out.
Sounds like a
and,
jump scare from It.
Well, my point is, so I go to the bathroom real quick. I always do a last check, and then God, there was blue hair everywhere. She dyed her hair blue in the bathroom. Like she came in a brunette and came out a blue.
Oh my god! Wow.
Was she Manuel the entire time?
I don't know. See, I don't remember her even coming in really. She didn't get a sandwich or nothing, so she just walked right to the bathroom. I was like, I didn't remember being in there.
For dying purposes.
You know, I go to Subway sometimes because it's close or wherever, like, fast food, whether I get it or not. I'll just jump in and get some, like, ice water. Or maybe soda if I really want soda, and I'm just like, fuck you, I don't care.
Dye your hair blue next time. Why not,
But, like, I'm going there because they have a bathroom to piss in, or they have, like, soda at least if I'm not going to buy anything else. But, like, I don't get the rationale to go with the intent of, like, yeah, I got this bottle of hair dye. I need to find a restaurant.
No, I don't know. I assume she's gonna party or she's homeless. I have no idea. But where'd she get the dye from? And why? I was closing the store, so it was at nighttime. It's not like in the morning before you start your day or nothing. It's like she didn't. I don't think she came in. Her clothes looked decent. They weren't raggedy. She wasn't off the
Frank's
street.
idea in the
Yeah,
chat
he
was,
says she
Frank
wanted
thinks-
you, rookie.
This was before the
Frank
homeless.
thinks she wants your nuts.
That would be funny, but no. Thank God she didn't.
She dyed her hair blue for you, bro.
This would have been another story though for the stories, but it wouldn't be POF related this time. I'll also do a Subway story stream too. If you missed it earlier, Josiah, I talked about some online POF dating stories on my stream.
Yeah.
About halfway through. Yeah, those were a treat. Sorry to distract you with that, but yeah, it was just funny with the bathroom thing and the dyed her hair blue in the bathroom.
It's
It's
so
just
weird.
like
Sounds like I don't know, like something from a Jason Bourne movie or something, you know.
Like she's not even a secret agent or nothing. She would have come out looking sexy, but she didn't.
No, don't give them ideas, man. Now they're going to make Mission Impossible 7 with, like, an SJW spy.
She'll come into the store looking hot and then come out looking like Renfremus, and then that's our hero apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that'd be so horrible.
Yeah.
That Jesus Christ! I was thinking of like your non-POF stories though. I remember you telling me like this hot chick, or you were getting along. She was like an Uber or something, or a door hop or whatever the fucking.
Oh yeah, she was DoorDash and she came
walk
to
us through
Subway
this,
and she was
distraught for you.
man, this DoorDash chick came in and I was still making a sandwich for her because she came like right away. And yeah, shut up in the chat. But,
she came right away.
She arrived on time. Arrived a little early. We'll say that. That's the way to word it.
I can still spit it.
Yeah, so I was talking with her for a little bit, and she was actually cool. And usually the drivers are just kind of boring, or they're just whatever, it's there to do it. And she's like, talking all nice and cool and stuff, and that was good. And I don't remember the whole conversation because it's still brief, like 5 minutes. And then I was like, she left, and I was like, should I have asked this chick for her number? She's not technically a customer, because as an employee, if you do do something like that with a customer, you give them your number, you ask to do other stuff, and if they were to tell somebody, you'd be in trouble basically. So I avoid doing that. But I'm like, she ain't no customer, she's just picking up the food for somebody else. So so after that, I called Angus. I'm like, so is that the key here? I can flirt with DoorDashers. Is that the next market?
She's like, I noticed the way that I noticed the way you clear it. I noticed the way you cleaned up all that blue hair dye.
When it was like, because I'm like, God, I used to be the kind of guy that would always take things super duper slow, but now I'm like, should I just ask for the number or say, yeah, I'm kind of interested now, instead of doing this long ass game of.
I told you what
you
do.
All this crap.
What you do is you give them your number. Once you secure some sort of interaction where it's seems hopeful. There's prospect here. You do the confidence move, be like, here's my number. And of course, inside you'll be like, please text me. I need a blowjob.
No, I agree with you though. That's a better move. And I wish I did that with the DoorDash chick.
But it looks wow, this guy didn't even ask for my number. He just gave me his.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Confident. Okay. And it's Subway. Great. God.
I mean, just think of a different scenario. Just think if you went to a job interview and it went so well, they gave you their number. Call us when you're ready.
That'd be it. No, I see what you mean here. That's an interesting way to look at that.
What you need is an alternate receipt tape that says for survey results, call blah blah blah.
My
And
house
then you also
keys.
need a different neon sign.
Yeah.
Like when business time, when it's business
When it's
time.
business
Yeah.
time. You see, what would be funny
Yeah,
would be
nah.
would be funny now though going forward with women is that like meeting them, like if they see my YouTube channel at some point, they'd have to see like my characters in the skits, like in the Rookie's
Oh
Quest,
my god.
the Jeffy Pro character that's all lazy and high, the Jamal character that's voiced by Princess Aruka and wearing pink, and it's it's all crazy. That'd be kind of funny to see a reaction from somebody interested.
No,
What you
in
need
I'm
is actually
thinking.
a Josiah with dad bod shouting out the rookie critic. I think you would get so much. You would get drowned in poon, bro.
No, what I'm
Yeah.
thinking, here is like you're talking about like the business number, wink wink,
Yeah.
for them to call. I'm just imagining like, like Punch Drunk Love or something, like a sex line, but you got like a girl in like a pink frilly, get up whatever, not moo but like the little like jacket thing that really isn't a
Yeah.
jacket. It's like mesh see through bullshit. I'm thinking something like that. Some like bunny pink slippers and stuff, but it's like Rookie on the bed, like, what you doing?
What you doing?
You want to come
Yeah.
over, Daddy?
That would be funny.
Ryan Kittle's in the chat. Is Rookie telling more about all his pussy slaying?
Just a little bit. See, this one was not as depressing as the other ones earlier. So this one wasn't crazy. This was just like I missed the moment. I could have probably should have done something, but I didn't. Let it slip.
Yeah.
As Eminem would say, you're after it and you let it slip, and whatever else that song goes. Oh yes, if we dive into my stories, we're gonna be here a while. So let's save them for another utter chaos or something.
No, yeah, I remember. I think it was because of Shellback, but we started this. Star,
Yeah, Shellback did. He
Star
started
Wars
this
brothel talk. There
He
you go.
started the Star Wars brothel. The talk.
Yeah, the brothel talk. I need to bring that. That's kind of the core of Utter Chaos streams. It's the brothel talk.
Which Josiah, do you even know what we're talking about?
The brothel talk? No, I don't.
Well, it's like it kind of started with like, oh, what species of Star Wars alien would you like to fuck? And I always throw people off because I'm like, everyone's like, ooh, Twi'leks, and I'm like, no, dude, the cloners on Camino? That's my jam. And I'm not joking. Like I honestly mean that. Like there's a sexy elegance, male and female.
And
they're
and
kind of androgynous in their own species.
And there's that alien in the Return of the Jedi with a long ass mouth that I'm pretty sure that some people would want, but
I mean,
not at this brothel, but that's.
I mean, his job is palace.
Yeah.
Honestly, I watched the. It's not Jedi. I don't know if it's Jedi Rocks or the original song in Return of the Jedi. A much superior upgrade in the special edition, in my opinion. You can hate the CGI and the tonsil scene and all that, but I think it's a much better, engaging song with the CGI characters.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen the original cut of any of that, so I've only seen the special edition ones.
just go on YouTube and look up like original Cantina or Palace.
Well, Mary sent that disc that one time because I won her giveaway before, so I actually have DVD to watch at some point.
Nice.
But yeah, was there more stuff you wanted to bring up with Josiah as it's on the 3-hour mark, kind of over here?
You got any crazy stories, dating, online dating, any of that? Or are you just a good? Did you just was your marriage arranged at
He married
church
his high
camp?
school.
He's saying, are you a good Christian boy, or were you a bad boy? Is probably what he's saying.
I'm imagining Josiah as like that Motley Crue song. It's like too cruel to fall in love.
the Facebook dating, maybe, who knows?
I mean, to be honest, not.
There was this one girl that had a perfect body, but like feet for a head.
Rounded it back, full circle.
No, like I don't know, like there really was only one other girl before my wife that I ever had an interest in. We had a relationship and it lasted for about a year, but besides that, like I I never really got into much of that. Really, I just kind of I don't know. Like I guess I'm more of the serious type when it comes to relationships and all that type of stuff. So I never got into much messing around, to be honest. So
Wait. This could mean a lot. You're saying you're like serious. You could be like, yeah, I'm just trying to find that girl. Or it could be serious like Frozen, where they kind of mock the setup of princess movies where it's like, we just met 30 minutes ago, but like, let's get married, you know?
oh no, yeah, that's just silly. But yeah, no, my wife and I we actually met through mutual friends on Facebook. Funnily enough,
Oh,
and it was actually my wife's sister who pointed me out to my wife first, and she was like, I don't know, somehow I was friends with her on Facebook, and she was like, "Hey, you should talk to this guy because you're gonna marry him one day." And my wife just kind of like laughed and stuff and was like, yeah, whatever. And so then we actually started talking, and we hit it off, and then we started to hang out, and it kind of went from there. So yeah, it was pretty awesome, pretty cool.
oh, the innocence
True
of
love exists,
Facebook.
man. I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
cool, man.
so it was awesome.
Now, before that, do you have any crazy ones?
I mean, the only other girl that I had a relationship with, she was actually like several states away, and it was a long distance relationship, and we met through some, I don't know, some stupid app or something that all the kids were into back in those days and stuff, and so it was kind of one of those things, but we actually it was a pretty serious deal and stuff, and we kind of were in a relationship for a while, but yeah, it didn't really obviously work out. So
Well, no, okay, no. Let me rephrase that. So, like with my online dating POF stories, like the bitches were crazy, and a lot of lead up to the fun of what happened with the burst of, how dare you do this to me? I'm looking for somebody to love and fall in love with and have a kid with. I only have 1 year before I can never have a baby again because I won't be able to have a period and doctors doing surgery and whatever. And how dare you do this? And I'm wasting. Thanks for wasting my time. Now, bye. And this was after she was trying to get me to do stuff with her all night, and I was just not feeling it.
God damn, bro.
First date.
Made out like an idiot.
Holy
This is
crap.
like the second date, basically. And if you listen to my stream earlier, goddamn, it was like she didn't even like pizza or ice cream, and she made out like, just by sticking her tongue out, like just like one at a time, like a little like a worm out of a hole. That's how she stung her tongue out. But with
Dude,
no
you've seen that
enthusiasm.
crazy hot skill thing, right? I mean,
But with no enthusiasm or nothing, so it's like a boring closed mouth with tongue. It's like, do that with your wife and go, "Hey, this is fun," and she'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you tonight?"
I
And
actually do that with
like
my
that's-
wife, kind of mockingly, like, because women are always self-conscious about their body. So, like, I'll joke about my wife, and I'll
Well,
be
no,
like,
but you're not trying to like, "Oh, I'm aroused now. Let's
I'll
do
be
it
like,
this way." It's
you
like,
know when
no.
Jabba's like choking from Leia and his like tongue thrashing, I go like
No, see, that's different. That's different. His mouth was at least open with his tongue out. She had her mouth closed and was like sticking her tongue out. And it's
What?
like, there's nothing to do with this. So
Whoa,
anyway,
whoa,
so
whoa.
anyway,
No,
and
you
then she
sucked
tries
the
to
tongue,
then she
friend.
tries to give me like a hickey on the higher neck, and I'm like, I have like Subway and college and stuff. Like, get the hell down lower, idiot. And it's like, I wasn't the pro here. See, Josiah, this is what I'm wanting to hear your type of stories.
no, I
Funny.
avoided girls like that.
This would be funny. See, I was so naive because in high school I only dated just a couple brief ones, nothing too long, and they lasted really over a month, type of thing. And so then after high school, buddy's like, oh, you can keep track with some people here and there, sure, but here's a cool way to meet some new chicks. Why not? And it's like, okay. And I was the naive boy that didn't really get that, just a lot of stuff with this. So I learned a lot from these events, by the way. If you don't want a girl to stay home, tell her to fucking leave instead of staying till 11 a.m. the next morning and then go, hey, let's just be friends, because this was not a successful night at all, because nothing happened in a good way. So no.
Josiah, did you see the new meme the Senate made for you?
No, I don't think so.
Check it out on Twitter. He tagged you in it.
He's done some awesome memes.
He did one. He mixed me and Gaze up. He like made us Rain Man cover, and I was like, wait a minute, you made me the retard. He's like, fixed it.
Subscribe to the Rookie Critic and the Dad Pod.
But if you scroll down on the Senate's thing, oh my god, from a screen from Data Racer, who's always on point,
Yeah.
apparently, and this could be a new video for you if you haven't done it already, Josiah,
Oh my
Palpatine will
gosh.
have an entire fleet of Death Stars in Star Wars. What?
Yeah,
Like,
because why not? Why not just have an entire fleet of freaking Death Stars at this point in Star Wars?
They
Because
could even go pew
story,
pew.
you might as well go bigger with everything else, right?
And
I
the
feel like
planet,
Neil
they're not on
deGrasse
planets
Tyson,
anymore. They're on sun. See, they're not even on planets anymore. They live on stars now.
I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson, where it's like when he talks, I don't know if he's talking about Star Wars directly, but he's talking about sci-fi. And he's like, oh, people think I'm so critical because I'm a scientist and I have no imagination. It's like, no, it's like I know science, so I want you to imagine like cooler shit than science.
Yeah, I agree.
and-
And then, they could, Angus, because in actually some of the shows that like in the universe and how the universe works, Stephen Hawking, there's some stuff where they have like some cool ideas that they said, oh, by like 2016 these will be ready. Bullshit. But they had some awesome ideas and they don't
Yeah,
employ
like,
them in sci-fi ever.
when
And I'm
when
like,
you
why
have a
not?
Sauron character in Star Wars, this is what people get triggered about Palpatine coming back. Well, one, I didn't even know this, but apparently Lucas had this as an idea from the start, along with the extended universe or expanded universe, not extended. um, this was an idea as well that's been touched on. But to me, it makes sense just with the prequels, defining whatever Lucas had in his mind. This defined it, where he introduced Plagueis, character that was learning or found the power to prolong life or change it. That's where Anakin comes from. If you can make the chosen one with the Force across the galaxy, how crazy is it for that same entity to maybe preserve himself in the last moment before death and throw himself spirit-wise into another body or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
It's plausible in this universe, so I'm not triggered by that. But if you do that, like, why even need Death Stars? Like, you think
Yeah,
he'd
right.
figure out to just take a fucking, like, make himself a giant in space with his spear or something and, like, palm a star and, like, focus that energy or something wacky like that.
It's almost like they have an addiction to destroying planets. I thought the whole point was that they make the Death Star so they only have to really destroy one planet and then everyone else gets in line. And then, just in case there's a rebellion over here, whoosh, they're dead. But that's basically it. There wasn't this obsession to make a shit ton of them or to make bigger ones. Like, it's just supposed to be a threat to keep the galaxy in line. That was all it was supposed to be, right? Like, it wasn't supposed to be, let's make more and, more. And I think Anna, that Star Wars girl, did make a good point about, like, how come nobody tried to make a shield afterward? Like a planet shield.
Fuck,
Yeah.
Which they have in Rogue One. They said that's not a bad point, necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you can make pretty much an entire planet out of metal, then you should be able to make a shield. So
I think it'd be easier because that'd be energy, not physical material.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Well, I got one better for you. How about you make like a bowl, so when they shoot at you, not only does it shield you, but it diverts the ray back at the Death Star.
Oh, Neil deGrasse Tyson would love that. Or a mirror. Just have it be a mirror, a straight up mirror.
Yeah, that'd
Glass.
be incredible.
Oh my
No.
god, that'd be like some space. I fucking hate Spaceballs. That'd be like some Spaceballs shit where it's like,
Angus,
they put a giant mirror in space. You're like, oh no, they have Death Stars too.
Angus, this whole thing would turn into the Green Lantern. They'd make kyber crystals would have giant swords out of spaceships, and then giant shields out of spaceships, and spears with kyber crystals or something in space. That'll be Star Wars.
No, they would have a giant racetrack like in the Green Lantern 2012 movie.
A giant racetrack. What?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I watched that recently, and I'm just like,
wait, does he like materialize?
You copied Iron Man. You copied the stalling of the plane like Iron Man. Like that just came out. Like what? It's weird going back because I was talking about earlier going back in time. Like I just watched Punisher Warzone, and I'm reading old Ghost Rider from like the original run and stuff. So I watched like the movies, and I'm like, oh, they actually like adapted that pretty well and succinctly. And I really want to see what the Marvel Knights would have become if they were more successful with Punisher Warzone and Spirit of Vengeance,
Mm.
which, oh my God, Ricky, I watched Spirit of Vengeance. We talked about this before, but we need to do a watch party of that
Yeah,
because
we
that's
need to
amazing.
do that too. Let's do that next week or something, man. That'd be funny.
That movie's amazing. I want to see more of the. I feel like everything Ray Media said about Spirit of Vengeance was pretty spot on. It's like, it's not bad. Like the crank style is cool. It's just when you're like at a still place and you have like shaky cam and like high speed, frame rate and stuff. It's disorienting and distracting. And then the way it ends, it's like, oh, I feel the spirit, and it's like, oh, cool, he's kind of getting in control. So part 3 should be him like coming to terms and going forward with like, okay, I'm the Ghost Rider. What can I do to control myself? This power, and it's
Yeah.
just like, I'm the Ghost Rider, and then it ends. I'm like, what were
Well,
they
and
thinking?
the villain kind of sucked. It's just like I touch things and they die, and it's like you could have done a lot with that, and you didn't really do much. It was just like, oh, well, okay.
Oh, you
Kinda
mean
like
Moldy Bread Man?
kind of like in the first one, like all the villains in it kind of just like didn't really do anything, and they all just kind of got killed in like two moves from Ghost Rider, and they're down, and it's like, well, okay, but like, are they all the henchmen and they forgot to put in a villain? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
the action sequence at the end, like the cars, like that was filmed really cool.
Yeah,
Besides
and
the
with
close-ups of
the I was gonna say with
Moldy
the whole
guy.
crane, with the Ghost Rider crane,
Oh, that was awesome
that was
too.
pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't get why like he can transform like any vehicle he grabs onto. It becomes like a Ghost Rider
Well,
edition,
and then the
and then
horse
it's
with
like,
the first one, like, so any if you rode a squirrel, would that like I don't
well,
know,
if he rode a
old one,
person, would they become like a hell vehicle?
or like a kitty cat, would that just
He uses it for like a
you know,
skateboard. Really quick though,
It's a
Frank
flare
and the
gun.
Shawhan Wiener Dog
roller
Clan.
skates?
Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan says, "Better hope all those Death Stars don't run out of gas." LOL. And then I guess that's a Spaceballs joke. I don't follow. And then he says, "Now that's a deflector shield." Talking about my bowl idea.
Yes.
Well, and
Yeah.
see,
I'm
the
trying
thing is
to.
that the rebels, they're so out of touch. They should have built an entire Death Star made of the high ground.
Oh yes, that's a very next level there, Immortal. But now I'm trying to imagine like Tatooine with just a metal bowl over it, like on a stick. Like that'd be kind of funny. But then it's like, but then you just turn the planet to the face the thing, or
Stop thinking, Rookie.
does somebody on the ground have to move the bowl to the right position, or like how would this work now? Because now the bowl
Holdo's gonna do it.
is the bowl in the atmosphere, or is it like outside
Oh
of
my
the
God, that would have
atmosphere?
been
Like
perfect.
I'm
If
like,
they did that against Holdo, if they had a giant bowl in front of the ship and just shot her back at Leia. People don't know this, but I fucking hate Princess Leia. She's an awful character to me. She's just one note. And Cecil talked about it too. He's like, this bitch is crazy. Like, they destroyed her whole culture and planet. And then 20 minutes later, she's like, oh, what's this Han Solo guy? Oh, this Luke Skywalker kid.
Well, she has to rebuild an entire race, motherfucker.
he's got some work to do.
Well, he's just got a point. He's facetious, of course, but he's got a point. My thing is, she embodies everything that people stereotype Captain America for. She's just, before the prequels, if you just watch, remove the prequels from the story, you're just like, all right, evil empire, supposedly. This is a rebel, which is, i.e., a terrorist group against a established government that's stolen the plans to destabilize the government, which keeps everything functioning, by the way. Um, they steal the plans, and she's already against the Empire because the plot says they're evil. And then her planet gets destroyed, and it's like now she has an actual resolve that you can identify with. But she already had that. There's no character change before and after as far as her resolve, her efforts. And until you get the prequels, you don't even actually see a justification for that because it doesn't change before and after Alderaan. That's why I hate her. And this like great feminist icon just becomes Han's bitch who spawns Kylo. So it just gets worse and worse with her character.
Well,
Like, I don't see why people prop her up.
Here's a good question for you, Josiah. What do you think about this whole Leia training Rey thing?
I mean, I don't know. It's just all stupid at this point. Like,
Yeah, well, honestly, I'm kind of with whoever was saying it. Like, why don't they do even more crazy stuff now? Why hold back why restrict themselves
Are
to
you talking about
trying
Jeremy
to?
with like saying Scott Stapp should do Star Wars music from
Well,
Creed?
I mean, maybe. I mean, let's just do Randy Newman even. Like we got the Star Wars, something, I don't know, something like that. And that why not? Because and just why not have like 50 Ewoks? Like just have lightsabers, but then they just all kill each other on accident or something, trying to give hugs or something. Like I don't know. Just why just go bold, just go stupidly because. It's just like by this point, no, I don't care what happens. Like they could do something. This could be a good movie for all I know, but I don't care if it's good or bad because I'm not invested in now.
Yeah.
It's just like you had 2 movies, and like this is why I probably won't even see it at all because I'm not gonna judge it so much without seeing it. But it's like I just don't care to see it right now. The last 2 didn't sell. The last 2 did not sell me to go see the third one. I don't need to see how it finishes. I'm not interested to see how it finishes. They could do something great, but just no.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm actually kind of in a different boat a little bit. I mean, I know it's kind of mixed across the board a little bit, but I was actually pretty invested in it after The Force Awakens. I was excited to see where the story was going to go after Force Awakens. And then Last Jedi just completely ruined it for me. I don't know, like the thing I liked about Force Awakens was, yeah, I mean there was problems with movies, but at the same time, like there was a lot of things that could lead to great things with the Force Awakens. It all really just depended on the second movie, which of course was a complete train wreck. So
yeah, everybody told me like, dude, just wait for the second one. That's going to totally answer all these questions that are left and blah blah. And I'm like, I don't even really need answers. I just kind of want to care about what's happening. Like my favorite scenes, like with Rey, was when she wasn't talking in the beginning, and not to say that what she says isn't anything good, but it's like they're telling us a lot without having her. They're showing us so much without telling us anything. And it's like, okay, so she's on this planet by herself. She's scavenging for parts to survive. She seems like, looking at other people working, she's probably questioning whether she wants to be here forever or not. Okay, this is good. And then it's like, oh, don't touch my hand, and what moving, and what are you doing? BB-8, blah, blah, blah. I'm just, in my mind, I thought she'd be trying to catch BB-8 to sell it, and then I feel like that'd at least be more character for her, and then and then like bump into Finn or something, like, hey, that's my droid, I'm trying to get, whatever, or Poe would have been better, honestly, at this point. And it's like, see, in my mind, that's where the movie could have gone, and these characters could start being fleshed out better, but they just totally don't, and it's like, oh well, okay. And just from there, like once she starts speaking, that's a stupid way to say it, but it's like, I'm like, okay, this is just okay, it's kind of dumb now. And I mean, of course, at the beginning with me, when he's like, who talks first? You talk first, I talk first, but I could get over it. It's fine. But
Hey,
again,
Josiah,
I agree with you. They have potential.
Check your Twitter really quick. I want this to like blow up.
But yeah, see, what's funny, Josiah, is like I try to not talk about Star Wars that often on my end because there was a whole like 2 months where every single person that live streamed, like smaller channels and all, there'd be 10 minutes into a stream and, oh, hey, you're here, cool. And then, but remember Kathleen Kennedy and Ryan Johnson and then Star Wars and how I'm just like, no, because like I talked about this a million times by now. And it's like, I'm just like, can we stop talk? I don't know what else to say. It's like it already is dumb, and we know, and I don't know what else to do. Like,
exactly.
I just didn't want to be a part of every conversation about it, and unless there's new stuff brought, like with the new stuff, I can comment on the science of how stupid it looks.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's all about finding your angle. If you don't like what other people are saying about it, you say what you want to hear about it. And that's the thing, especially with like the criticism Griggs has gotten lately. If you don't like what the fuck he says, say what you want him to say. Make your own shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you refer to him as Griggs. You're like, oh, that old Griggs.
We're buddies.
Griggs.
He knows my name. He actually corrected Ivan Ortega when he couldn't pronounce my name because I have too many fucking ones in it.
All the ones, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's actually great though because when it becomes like a common search, you just type 1 and boom, Immortal Coil.
Yeah, I'll admit that. But I'm surprised there's not a Griggs and Gamers like account or something.
Chat,
But
you are tasked by the Rook.
Yeah, well, the Senate's probably already made 3 different accounts within the time since this
Yeah,
last one.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think who it was. If he paired me with Red Gaze, I can't remember. There's a
Yeah, he
meme
was
where,
right. I think it was you and Red Gaze, I think.
which is a great pair because, like I said, me and him are both Comicsgate to varying degrees as far as our coverage. So we kind of on the low tier level of channels, making content together. We are like Ethan Van Sciver, and just like that, with him being Caesar, I've had events that have happened where I've been stabbed in the back. I'm kind of like Little Caesar. So if you ever see hashtag pizza pizza, that's what I'm getting at.
Just think Black Angus.
Angus. Yeah. Back
Anything you want to close out with, Josiah, before we head out of here? Because I gotta get up in the morning and lay some pipe.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have to go clean my bank tonight, actually. So,
Of course you do, you white mouth.
I know I'm
Money.
so freaking privileged. Um, yeah, no. I don't know. Just I'm excited. I'm excited to see where my channel goes because I'm trying some new stuff out and I'm excited for that. So that's gonna be good. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess just keep an eye out because I have some pretty crazy ideas for some videos. So should be a good time. So
That'll be good. I want to see you do some more film type of content or coverage, like either covering something more film related or like doing some type of tricky thing that you learned from doing stuff. Like,
yeah,
I feel like I do my skits because that's the only way I can do them. But I feel like how to do certain things. You can just like boom, do some type of cool or funny little thing in a video.
yeah, right.
I don't even know. I figure.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, I'm gonna let everyone go. Thanks y'all for coming in the chat. Thanks for being great company tonight and enjoying the crickets out here. While you have Josiah and talking toxicity and trans channels and all that good
I was
stuff.
called Melissa McCarthy today. That's a rumor now.
Wow.
They think that I'm in disguise. Tom Connors Midnight said he came up with a theory that I'm Melissa McCarthy infiltrating the Fandom Menace, and it's like boom, like a big surprise now. And the way that conversation came into was very weird. So it's like with the beard and facial hair. It was actually it was like meeting Immortal and Shellback. That's how it started with that. And then they're like, "Oh, you finally grew some man hairs or something." I'm like, "Oh, my beard's stuck." And then I'm like, that gender swap app thing that they do, but then they like add like an extra beard on your face when they show that. I'm like, that beard looks sick, but I can't grow hair like that. That's not how my hair works. So
that's your
it
shampoo.
It looks like crap. So I'm like, no, it's not. I don't have that beard hair,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tom accused me of being Melissa McCarthy in disguise. So.
Dude, I think you look like Sam from Game of Thrones.
Rookie? No.
No.
You don't think so?
No, he doesn't look that much.
Who did
like
you
a
cast
bitch.
him as, Angus?
I cast him. Well, one, I didn't give him like too crazy a character because
he picked a good one.
He wasn't watching Game of Thrones yet, so I didn't want to like throw away a good casting per se. But ultimately, it was like the person I picked kind of suited. Like you saw, I tried to find a way to extrapolate some sort of relation to that character. Why I picked you. So I'm not just going to cast like say Abu or Mark the Sea as the pirate because they're black. Abu, if I did cast him, would probably get the pirate because of like his style and stuff, and the black just kind of works secondarily. But I picked Jakin Hagar, the faceless man that Arya saves.
He's my favorite character.
Because Rookie
actually.
has all these characters, he's kind of like the Nutty Professor. So that was the angle I went with. Josiah. Nice. Do you remember who I gave you, Josiah?
I think you gave me the. Didn't you give me like the blacksmith kid or something or?
Ooh, I think I did give you Gendry. You were like a last second casting because I had Mary Mayhem cast, but I was going to give her Melisandre, but most of the list was made back in February, and then I didn't start writing this and releasing it till like the show came out in mid-April.
Yeah, right.
And so I was sitting on this for a few months, and I didn't actually start writing them out though. Like I had in my head, like Jeremy, I cast as Jamie because there's the incest joke, Alabama, but also, Jamie's a character that you hate. He's just like he fits the mold like the Prince Charming, like Shrek, and then you grow to love him, and that was kind of the path. Like I didn't say it with enough elegance, but when I was on the stream with him with Sith months ago, I was telling him, like, hey, I just want you to know, like, I didn't sub you for a long time. Yeah, I'd watch you, you kept popping my feed, but you didn't earn my sub till like you hit about 90K, then something clicked, and I was trying to say like, hey, like you earned my sub, like just like that video I made, the joke and stuff. Like I wouldn't make if I didn't like you. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
But and I think he got that, but some people were like, "Give me crap in the private chat." But stuff like that. I try to like leave an impression. Jeff Fix, I gave. Fuck, who'd I give? The Hound, and I was hoping that would kind of inspire him to be like,
Fuck the
"Oh,
king."
let me look into this character. Why would Angus guy? He seems to respect me at least. I like Jeff Fix. I was trying to kind of get him to look into the show. Like, why would Angus give me this character?
Yeah.
So yes, a few people like that. There was a whole joke with Proper Jeremy and Lethal and Tristan, because Lethal loves Tristan. So there's like him, Marjorie and Renly, but Renly's really fucking Loris, which is Proper.
I like how you have like a story within your casting of Game of Thrones characters with that. It's like, there's a lore here.
One of the ones
Who'd
that
you cast EVS as?
EVS got Varys, and
Varys.
this is recently right after I joined War Campaign and I did the stream with them and stuff, and so I cast him as Varys because he does all this work for the industry, but no one cares. They just typecast or whatever. They call him Gaylord, just like they call Varys the Spider. They call him Gaylord, but he, rises triumphant, Lord of the Gays. I use that whole thing in conjunction with Varys.
And whispers to War Campaign. And makes more schemes and scams to put fudge pops in people's mouths.
Stop talking fudge. I don't need your schemes and scams.
Miniature sparrows.
Oh man, yeah. That's what. Honestly, I want to see some of that. I feel like people that don't like each other in Phantom Menace just kind of just sit in their corners. Like that's what all about Comicsgate. People like these factions, whether it's just I'm a faction because I'm a super fan, or I just hate Comicsgate, but for some reason I keep watching everything so I can find dirt on them, which is the weirdest obsession. But and then you got other factions like this is what Comicsgate is versus no, this is what it is. I want families to have some of that. I want some animosity because when we're all in a hug box, we're all just yay team. It gets gay in the wrong way.
Not in the
we need a little action to spice things up a little.
Yeah, even the best couples fight and bicker sometimes, regardless of how hostile it really is or not. You need that. You need forest needs to burn sometimes to purge itself.
You need to be Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad and Angelina.
Yeah, so I'm waiting. Maybe after Rise of Skywalker, we'll start to see like this divide because there's going to be some people that like. I think there's going to be some people that like this or just like it wasn't that bad. Like, what's the big deal? And people are just going to be so adamant, and it's going to be at each other's throats. And you're going to finally start seeing that, and you'll start seeing like kind of a divvying up of fandom, which I think maybe it needs. I think you start seeing some people actually just dip out because it's like, all right, Star Wars is done. Whatever. I don't know. I want to see a new direction. It's like we don't all have to like each other. It's just this, or it's like you can say you don't like someone and not, you shouldn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
yeah.
I just can't wait to see like who among the ranks like just comes out like fucking Angus, that blackie with his opinions.
No, that's actually happened a few times.
I know.
People messaged me and said, "Can you believe Black Angus?" Like this is months ago. This is starting from months ago. They're like, why are you hanging around him? He's a douchebag. He's mean or something. And I'm like, yeah, but like he's Angus. Like, what do you mean? Like, you know how he is. There shouldn't be a problem. Like, I
don't know where this surprise
because he is a douchebag. Because
they wouldn't tell him that. So it's kind of like, well, I guess I'll tell him.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, like Ricky's so cool. He never discloses who it is unless it's like in public, which is I respect. Even though it's like I don't want to know, but it's like he doesn't, and that's cool. It just gives me, it just
Well,
makes me laugh. I'm like, okay, I'm just
well,
gonna
it's
keep
like
doing
Angus
what I
and I
do.
disagree on so much stuff. Angus and I have a lot of opposite viewpoints, but we talk it out, argue, and we have 10-hour live streams. If we were to combine like a 2-day conversation, like uh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I wonder. What, you don't have to disclose who, but if you can be vague, what are some things you see among our ranks, Josiah, where it's like, I don't like that.
Oh man. Uh,
That's pretty vague, I guess, to look at though.
That's the
But
perfect
I'd
vague
say
answer to the vague
I'd say
question,
recently though, that'd be
actually.
kind of easy. There's been a lot of people talking more lately. That's like, oh, okay.
yeah. I don't know. Like, I guess I can't really think of any instances where I've really thought about that. Usually, if there's stuff that I either that people will say that I don't agree with, I'm just like, whatever. It doesn't really affect me, so whatever. Um, that's kind of the way that I try to take things usually, unless it directly involves me in some way, like the whole Julie incident, I guess. Um, but but yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I can't really think of anything specifically.
Yeah, it's funny you say that actually, because I had to run it with her in a way. Because like, if you don't know, I hosted Lloyd, the father of Ollie from
Yeah,
the
yeah, yep,
Spider-Man incident
yeah,
with the gravestone. And I don't talk to him as much as I'd like to, mainly because we're a 5 hour difference. He's over in England, but I like him, and he's been going through a lot of stress and stuff. But he's been getting help, and it's public information. He pretty much friends anyone on Facebook. So if you want to look up Lloyd Jones of Maidenstone, England, he'll friend you. You can keep up with him.
hmm,
So it's not like I have some exclusive, tab on him or something.
yeah,
Um, but when that happened and people started making videos, I was working on my video. It might be the next day. Julie's like, I'm in agreement with Disney on this one, and it sounded so callous, like something like Disney critic would say. And I jumped on that shit, and it wasn't just because I was reacting because I have a side. It's like
sure,
I have a side because I have fucking evidence of like 2 decades of Disney pre and post Marvel
yeah,
giving tombstones. To or allowing or not at least not crushing people for getting them illegally if that's the
yeah, yeah,
case. And we had kind of heart to heart in the chat, DM or whatever. That was nice, but and I kind of got her viewpoint. But I've had a run-in before, so then I see this whole bigoted, just uh, I can't think of the word, just vileness about like, oh, the gays, it's child abuse, and letting people see the gays with the kids. And
yeah,
I'm just like, wow, that's some Stone Age shit.
yeah, yeah,
That's that. It's like everyone's got some sort of opinion about something where it's just too hostile, too controversial. Like I'm interested in like sex psychology and stuff.
hmm,
So there's, and part of it could be just the attempt of a gender indoctrination, whatever. But I think there's valid arguments with like, uh, I don't know how to better say it, like sympathy with self-professed pedophiles, or whatever. Where it's like, hey, I don't touch, whatever. And it's like it's a tricky situation to tackle, but there's like some sympathy, but it's the whole like give an inch they take a mile scenario. And I'm a father, so it's not like I'm just some wacko lefty out in Portland or something with no investment in this argument. But you get on this, it gets so touchy or whatever. It's like you just don't say it.
yeah,
Just don't disclose. Because people just react off of like 2 sentences on Twitter.
yeah, exactly. Hmm.
This
Yeah,
is
I mean,
another long closeout.
Yeah, this is
This is the
traditional
extendo
rookie.
outro.
another hour.
Yeah, I'll upload like an edited just 2 hours, just the best clips. But this has all been fun. You're getting to know me, Josiah. I appreciate you just hanging out with me for an hour, 3.5 hours, and
yeah,
Rookie getting silly earlier, so drinking and stuff, and people throwing him his stripper money.
I'm always silly.
And me and my adorable technical problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Mr. Immortal. I'll throw you a few bucks so you can upgrade, maybe.
I appreciate that from your super chat money.
Oh yeah.
But no, yeah, I'm just gonna end this because we'll just keep on going and going. But I hope you all enjoy it. Hope everyone enjoys the replay. And I don't have a link in my description or anything, but if you want to support me monetarily or anything, um, for future funds, I am working on a Comicsgate project, Methgator. If any of you don't know, I'm working with an artist to make a promo poster, and I'm gonna try a nickel and dime approach to fulfillment and funding my comic.
Nice,
So
nice, that's awesome.
hopefully I break even, get some awareness, if not make some profit to put in my Meth Gator coffers. Um, yeah, you can support that coffer with the links in my other videos, the Patreon and all that. Um,
Yeah, join the Black Agnolian Army at Patreon.
no, Black Angolian Army.
Same thing.
No, you said it weird. You made it sound like it was South American. No, this is African. We're reclaiming our land. We're getting reparations for the
Mhm.
injustices done to
Right.
my people.
Right. Right.
When
Forgot.
I made the Patreon in the stages, I was trying to write my Black Panther joke video, so I was watching Black Panther repeatedly, and so the whole Wakanda shit was like fresh in my mind.
That's gonna be like Jeremy's fishing video or something. Like you're just gonna tease it and never do it. Like
No, I
you
have
had the helmet. Yeah, I know, but
I have the
you
cat
haven't done the
gloves.
video yet.
I have
You need to
cat
watch.
gloves
You need
even.
to watch the vid. You need to watch Black Panther again to get more notes and whatnot. But no,
It's really cool because even though I hate that movie for what it did to a character I was interested in, I want to do it justice so the jokes are relevant. Where it's not just like, haha, I painted MAGA on Black Panther. Like I want it to have like a narrative.
you got to do that. See, now you got to wait for Black Panther 2 because now there's no reason for it now. It's like there's nothing about it now. It'd just be like, hey, he made a random video, and hey, douche, and they'll call you a white supremacist. But then, you'll get more of those, even though you're a blackie. So
Well, I'm an Uncle
but,
Tom in their eyes because I think white. That's how they
right.
spin it.
Yeah, if you know a white guy, so you're not really black or something.
But yeah, thank you all, Billy Tommy. He's got a great channel. It's growing. Hope you're gonna want to stream maybe next week, Friday. There was something I was gonna say about Meth Gear and all that, but Friday I'll be having Ryan Kinnell, Mads Mama Bear, her first stream.
Nice.
She's following on Twitter and in the chat sometimes. 19K Fox will be on here. You just hit 200 subs. Maybe a couple others. I don't know.
Yeah,
Always winging it.
before that, this will be cool now. Starting on this Friday, see, so I'll start off the day with at around noon Pacific, a watch party of Rambo, and then that'll lead pretty much right into Angus's pre-Senate, and then go right into Sith Kryptonian Senate. So you'll have some streams all day long. Keep you busy.
Yeah, a lot of entertainment for you. And then whatever Josiah does at Chick-fil-A or whatever. I don't know.
He rises.
That'd be funny. I want to see Josiah argue with somebody at Chick-fil-A or something. Just
Dude.
somewhere, just honestly with somebody in general on the streets, because like if there was an SJW incarnate on the street, like come to Portland and you'll find a plentiful hand, and you can just go fishing for one, and
No.
just that'd be kind of funny.
One of my
Here's what you
videos
need.
that I'm going to be making will definitely probably be bringing out some of the freaks. Let me tell you, it's going to be crazy. It might be kind of dangerous for me, but we'll see. I might get milkshakes thrown at me.
I think I want to start a puppet brigade of people that will insult the Fandom Menace. Like I'll make a few puppets, and then somebody maybe I'll get the eyes of a real troll that hates you guys, or B-level in them or something. Oh, let's make the Fandom Menace puppets. And like the Fandom Menace insulting shows as the puppets, and like I would be impersonating.
That would actually be amazing.
This would be hilarious. But then I'd want them to take it from me, and then they can do it themselves, and I can sit back and watch and go, the puppets of the. Oh my God, this would be hilarious to see.
Yeah.
To see the puppet Cecil interact with
I know you're listening.
the puppet of
Snowdog.
EBS.
You do that.
Yeah, no, I know I was gonna say I was talking about links earlier, so I haven't added links, but there's a Black Angus archive channel where it's like generally speaking, it's a slow process. I got like 200, 300 videos, but I'm gonna start shifting all my stuff. Maybe just my content's too incendiary, my guys, for them to monetize me. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to shift any of the copyright stuff I have over there. Problem with that though is some of it, like when I uploaded one of my first videos, I put a long opening track of AC/DC's "Feels About to Rock" for an Infinity War video, and it didn't get banned. But when you re-upload it, it like blocks that music, so you just watch like 50 seconds of a trailer with no music or sound. It totally defeats the narrative I was building up for the video. But yeah, so generally speaking, most of my streams and everything will be shifted over there. I'm gonna see if that helps. If we get monetized, and it's just a way to unclog, people going through my content. I'll see like 20-minute or less videos and not 2 to 4 hour streams. But yeah, sub to Mortal Coil again. I usually have everyone's links here. And yeah, thank you, JosiahRises, for being a gracious guest.
Thanks for having me on,
And,
man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I
we'll
really
have
do.
to stream. It's been a while since I've been on your channel and hung out with you and Drunk or Rookie or whoever
Yeah.
you get these roundtables. But
Yep.
maybe we can do something for Joker. And we'll definitely
Yeah.
have to try and meet up maybe in spring next year, if not sooner.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
And
I'll get you on sometime soon, for sure.
And with Immortal, subscribe to him or he'll kill me. That was the deal last time when he met me and had his real Wolverine claws. So
Right.
the threat the threat's still
I'm
there.
going to end this stream now.
Okay. And so on my next dating story, this girl